Hello? Hello? Alright, let's see, what do we got here? Let's see. Um, what's that? Can you look on my page and see if you see it? Okay. Okay, there it is. I see it. Let's see. Let's see. Where is Okay, I see. Say something. Hello, everybody. Eight people are watching. Say something. Okay. I don't know what you guys want to talk about, but I'm here and I am taking your calls live, and I thought I'd give this a try, see if anybody was interested. I don't know if you are. We can talk about whatever you like. Tell me, what do you like to talk about? I know, no one's watching. That's okay. So thanks for tuning in, you guys, and my name's Mike, and this is my YouTube page, and I've been posting videos on YouTube now for 12 plus years, and topic, what would you like the topic to be? I don't know what the topic should be. Topic is oh, Anne, thank you. No. Okay, so are you guys afraid of North Korea? How's that for a topic? Fear? Fear work for you? I have no fear of I don't know. I don't fear. Fear is bad. We need to do a whole video on fear. You're afraid of North Korea? Seriously? Why? Why would you be afraid of North Korea? What is it that North Korea did to you? Did to anybody except for North Koreans? Trump, that's what he is fake. I mean, he's playing a TV character. That's the whole deal with Trump. That's who you should be afraid of, and that's a good call. the government, the U.S. government, is the only people who truly threaten your freedom and your children's future. So that's a very good call, Ann. uh, you know, there seems to be fear is worthless. Look. Oh, I got a phone call. Hold on. All right, so you'll have to turn down the volume on your computer so we don't get a bunch of feedback. Hello? You'll have to turn down the volume on your computer so we don't get a bunch of feedback. Hello? This is Mox News. Yeah. I can hear you. Let's see if we can hear you on the live. Go ahead.
Hello?
Yeah, you're on speakerphone. Go ahead.
All right, cool. So, judging by the picture behind you, I bet you may have what I'm about to say. You may actually have a understanding about what I'm about to say. So, Donald Trump is nothing more than another puppet for the Roman Empire, that is the Catholic Church. Okay, and partially probably part of the Jews too. He's just a puppet. Okay, that's it. North Korea, nothing's going to happen. Now, if something does happen, it's going to happen in the South China Sea. China has to worry more than we do, because if something goes wrong, it cannot affect their money. They need like you have to understand, North Korea.
Okay, hold on. A lot of information. Thank you. Really appreciate it. Who are you?
Thomas.
Thomas. Okay, Thomas. Thanks very much for calling. And so I think that you're right. I think that China is complete control of North Korea, right? That's what you're saying, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right, and that China likes this little conflict thing. Here, let me ask you a question, Thomas, because you seem to have a pretty good grasp of Donald Trump and North Korea. Do you believe that Donald Trump and Kim Jong-un might be working together to sell more weapons for the military-industrial complex?
Okay. Yes and no, and I'll explain why. So, the issue that you have is, I think you have a diversion for the Middle East, because the Middle East is going through things right now. You notice how Trump hasn't really made any kind of crazy strikes. He did that one strike in Syria, right? And the neocons are like, oh yeah, Trump. And then the far right was like, no, pro-Syria, pro-Assad or whatever. But now, with North Korea being on the TV screen, South Korea being on the TV screen, I feel like it's Trump doing what Trump does, and it's TV.
Right. Trump is playing.
A lot of people don't know. Do you know that Yemen or Saudi Arabia has hired Colombian mercenaries to go against Yemen? That. That
seems to be.
That's what I personally think.
But you hire. It doesn't necessarily have to be Colombian. I mean, you hire mercenaries from wherever you can hire mercenaries from, and there's plenty of them in America that are readily available if you have the money. I imagine the Colombian ones are less expensive than the American ones.
Right, exactly. That's part, yeah. And one other thing, I think the difficult thing now is with the Las Vegas shooting and with the shooting at the church in Texas, it seems like people have this weird mentality. It's like a war mentality here on the land, and then there's a war mentality in your head when you watch the news, because it's Korea, and then here people are like race war, or they're trying to take our guns, which I do agree, they kind of are. You can tell they want to take the guns. You can tell they want to. It won't be Australian style, but they want to take our guns, and
they would have already. They keep saying that we don't want to take your guns, but they do, and the only reason that they haven't taken the guns already is because we have guns.
Right. Thankfully.
Yeah, because the Second Amendment was put there as the Second Amendment in order to protect all of our rights, all the other amendments. That's the whole purpose of the Second Amendment.
Yeah, well, and it's funny too. A lot of people don't know, in the law of nature, and this is kind of a Gnostic thing, and like a Gnostic mystical thing. Just a side tidbit. The law of nature, you have defense mechanisms. Okay, like when you look at an animal, say, look at a rattlesnake or a cobra, they have a defense mechanism. They have an instinct that kicks in for preservation of life. If we are the most impressive species on this planet, and we are the rulers of this planet, that means that we also have a self-defense kick mechanism too. We're organisms, and it's okay to protect yourself. And Americans have forgotten that, but the issue is we do have a couple loose screws.
Hey, let me jump in here for a minute, Thomas. Is that okay?
Yeah.
All right. So this is something really important that you're talking about. And when you say Americans are, humans, and this is the thing, is it's humans that we're talking about, and humans are the tippy top pointy spear of the food chain. You understand? We are the king of the beast of everything.
Yeah.
We are, and because of that, what I think that humans have completely forgotten that.
Yes.
And what's happening is they walk around in a constant state of fear. And it's either fear of, how am I going to pay my bills next month? Or, whatever it is, North Korea, the police state. I mean, it's just endless. And there's absolutely no reason for it. And it's absolutely not the way human beings are supposed to function. Human beings are supposed to walk through the jungle with their heads held high, knowing there is nothing to fear.
Yeah. No. Here's an interesting thing. And I've been doing a lot of, like, history research into, like, the Bible, like biblical criticism, where I look at the Bible as a believer, but I look at the Bible as a skeptic to see if there are things that are wrong, right? And I've been doing months of study, and I've done a lot of research. And what I can tell you is a lot of people don't understand the spiritual, like we know that it isn't the way the world's supposed to be, because there is a spiritual side that almost tells you when you look for truth, it starts to tell you that you have nothing to fear. It's just a certain group of people have decided they think that they should be the masters. And they know that we won't seek out
well, what
knowledge,
happens,
be afraid.
Again, what happens, Thomas, is when people are in fear, they look to stronger leaders. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that gives them the ability to move on, making horrible things happen, like war and endless war of profit, and fighting bullshit wars that are like war on terrorism. That's not a war. War is against a country, or war is against an army. The war on terrorism is a load of bullshit. It's mostly there just to drive fear and make the rich people richer. Hey, Thomas, can I ask you a question?
Sure.
Have you tipped my Mox News? Have you donated to Mox News?
I haven't yet. I'm gonna have to start next week. I haven't got paid yet.
Because I wouldn't ask if I didn't need it, and I've done this a long time, and you can tell my heart is in the right place, right?
Yeah.
And that I somewhat knowledgeable. I am saying intellectual, fairly intelligent things, right?
Your logic and your reasoning are sound. You don't have to be an expert nowadays. See, that's the thing. Everybody knows. See, look. Here's the thing, really quick. You have to understand, and I'm going to tip your channel.
Thank you.
Soon, but I can't right now. But I'm going to, because I do subscribe to you. But anyway, so really quickly, the one thing is the knowledge isn't hidden anymore. Like you notice how like 10 years ago, people were like, "Oh, New World Order," but then like there was a stage like in the past like year and a half where it's like everybody has videos. The Truther movement is like they're going to at odds with each other. Flat Earth comes out. Like people are waking up to things like the knowledge, the gnosis. People are knowing. They're capturing the knowledge now. The issue is people don't want to believe that it is real. They like slavery. it's a mental slavery.
I think it's,
and that's what it is.
I was saying on one of my recent videos about Stockholm syndrome, where you you sympathize with your captors to the point of actually feeling like they care about you and stuff like that, you know?
Yeah, precisely. Yeah,
and
yeah.
I think it's more than that, though. I think that people get in kind of a rut, into a groove, you know, and that this groove isn't so bad, and it could be a lot worse. So I don't want to rock the boat too much. So I'm just going to stay in this groove and keep moving forward, you know.
Yeah. But hey, man, it was good talking with you, man.
All right, Thomas.
When I can.
Thanks for calling. I really appreciate it.
Yeah. Bye.
Okay, so I think that call went pretty well. He seemed like a pretty smart guy. You guys, anybody wants to call, feel free. We'll talk about whatever you want. That conversation started off on North Korea and went to fear. And fear is incredibly, like I said, fear is this thing that humans are only supposed to experience on a very moment-to-moment basis. It's like it's only supposed to happen for a second, and in that second, there's a. Okay, let's see who's calling now. Be sure to turn down your. Be sure to turn down your computer speakers so we don't get feedback. Oh, we lost him. Oh, sucks. I'm sorry, caller. Please call back. That was my bad. You need to I wanted to make sure that you turn down the speakers on your computer if you're calling, so that we don't get an echo and we don't get feedback. As I was saying, fear is, and you're right. Fear is what the elite. It's the only reason that the military-industrial complex can exist. Hey, caller, you need to turn down your computer speakers, and you're live. This is Mox News. How you doing?
I'm good.
What's up? Who's this?
Hey, Mox.
Hey, man. What's your name?
Kevin.
Kevin? Gotta speak up, Kevin.
Oh, sorry. It's because it's a little delayed on YouTube, so I was confused.
Does it sound okay?
Yeah, it sounds clear.
Good. So what's going on, man? What's on your mind?
Right here, want to see your opinion on World War II.
I was just thinking about that a minute ago, actually. You know, and this comes back to, again, the fear and the military-industrial complex and the military-industrial complex not being able to exist, that the whole war profiteering can't exist without the fear. Or if we passed laws that said war profiteering should be illegal, it shouldn't be able to exist then either. But as far as World War II, I was thinking that the people, the American people, the U.S., the United States, the people, the citizens of this country, of this great country, absolutely did not want to get into World War II. And you know, they're like, oh, the Jews are being slaughtered. We have to go save the Jews. And like, fuck that. We've had enough of war. We don't want to be an endless war nation. You know, let those people over there where it's happening take care of it.
Don't you think it's crazy how the Jews have so much influence, and like not just now, but since then?
I think it's a big. I think it's obviously there's a plot, you know, and the government's clearly involved in it, and it's become so obvious when you look at, you know, the media. Today's media is just sick, you know, and it's so controlled and so pro-government. They can't even ask the most basic questions about the Las Vegas shooting. You know, where's all the video? Where's all the video that has all the timelines in it?
What do you think about Hitler trying to get rid of degeneracy in Germany?
What's that?
Hitler getting rid of degeneracy in Germany.
Degeneracy?
Yeah, like the homosexuals.
I think degeneracy is very subjective. I think your degeneracy is my lifestyle, and that's none of your fucking business.
No government out of that, right?
Yeah, I'm a freedom guy. You guys know this. Freedom is all that matters. I've told you guys this over and over again. Everything else is servitude.
All right, sounds good. Just want to see what you thought about Hitler too for the final question.
Yeah, man. Thanks a lot for what was the final question?
Your thoughts on Hitler? Good guy, bad guy?
Oh, I don't know, honestly know enough about, a lot of people say different things about Hitler, and I don't know enough about it. I mean, he killed a bunch of people. Killing people is wrong,
Yeah.
right? I mean, Bush killed a bunch of people. Obama killed a bunch of people. These people all need to be in prison in order for the world to be a safer place for little children. I don't know why everybody doesn't understand that.
Sounds good, man. Have a good day.
All right, thanks for calling, man.
Anytime.
Leave me the tip in my bowl, please. Hey, Wilco. Good to see ya. Freedom, freedom, freedom. Everything else is servitude, dude. You know that. We all know that in our hearts, and that's part of the problem. That's is that we know that we're meant to be, like I was saying, that this top of the food chain. We're supposed to walk through life with our heads held, no fear, no, checking over our shoulder to see if there's a cop following us or not. We're supposed to move. Hey, we got a caller. All right, let's see. Caller. This is Mox News. You'll have to turn down the speakers on your computer and go ahead. Okay, great. Who's this?
Hi, Moxie. How are you? I haven't talked to you in like ages and ages and ages.
Really? We talked before?
Oh, yeah. Well, it's been a long time when your dog was ill.
Oh, right on.
Yeah.
He's doing much better. I'm gonna make a video with Rufus in a couple days.
That's good.
I think he might help the fundraising
I like
a
when
little
you
bit.
do that. I think your channel needs it, especially after everything you've gone through. I mean, it's just devastating to think of all the videos that you put up and the battle you've had with YouTube and Google. Amazing.
Amazing. All I'm trying to do is the right thing, and it's so. When you see an archive of videos just disappear, and there's millions of comments there, and you can't get any of that back. I mean, you can repost the videos, but it's not the same thing as when it happened in that moment and everybody was there and commenting on it. And it's like this little piece of history, and some asshole flushes it down the toilet. You're like,
but I really think that they have everything. It's just they've just sealed it up and put it into big giant server in cold storage.
You're absolutely right. Everything is still there. Who is this?
Yeah.
Who are you?
This is Kimberly.
Hi, Kimberly. Nice to hear from you.
Yeah, I was calling because I'm glad that you're doing this Google Hangout. I think it's time for you to expand a little bit. And these Hangouts and the kind of like people-to-people videos, I think really promote a channel much better. I know that you've been worldwide. You see Mox News, and before that, C-SPAN Junkie, all of that. But it's sort of laid flat now, and you need to re-energize it. But I did call to talk about a couple of issues, and I thought I'd let you pick. Israel, secession, and Weinstein.
Well, why don't you pick?
Well, I would like to know, what do you think about Israel? Do you think that all these wars are for Israel?
I think Israel is a huge part of the military-industrial complex. That I think that every single drop of blood spilled in the Middle East, every single drop, a bunch of people in Israel make money off of it.
Yeah.
And
at $38 billion. God Almighty.
And it just, I don't know how people who call themselves humans can allow that to continue. No one should be making money off these wars.
Yeah.
And
right.
And if it, and the people who do, it's sick. It's and it's so much part of our country. it's really sad. And I'm not sure what it's going to take to make a difference. Like I said, we could outlaw war profiteering, and why that hasn't been done, I don't know.
I don't understand that either. So then it falls on us to maybe to strike, to work less, to stop buying things, because that all finds its way back into their pockets, especially the war profiteers, all the pensions that are stuck into the war profiting markets. That's why it kind of leads me to secession.
Oh, well, I love the idea of secession.
We have.
You know about Cascadia?
Yes, I do.
I love the idea of Cascadia. It's one of the things I comment regularly in the comments. I'll type Cascadia now, Cascadia forever.
So you're pro Cascadia. That's great.
Yeah.
How do we get that going? Where do we get the money to start?
Well, I would think that Jeff Bezos and Bill Gates have enough money between the two of them, and then they could pretty much be the kings of Cascadia,
You want them as kings?
No, I can't stand that how much they're already involved in everyone's lives.
Yeah. I mean, that would be kind of scary, but then there's the other way of looking at it, like Caesar, get him to do what you need him to do, and then kill him.
Well, there's not enough of that going on.
Well, there is. So I mean, what is it? 1%, 2% own the world, 53% of the world, or something. So I think people are generally. You were talking about the nature of man, king of the beasts. I think there are a lot of bunny rabbits, to put it.
But I mean, is that a programmed thing? Is it because they've never been told that they shouldn't live their lives in fear, and because they haven't had that explained to them, and then there's this constant stream of fear fed to them. Through whatever form of media it is. I mean, you don't have to watch the news to get this fear. You can go play video games and get plenty of war propaganda.
But isn't that like the primal nature of man is fear and flight and fear? And so as soon as you're afraid, the first thing you want to do is run.
Well,
right, and cover yourself.
Well, fight. You decide whether to stand your ground or fight. That's what it is.
Well, that's hard for people to imagine. It's better off to negotiate or to back off and just let it go away. Well, that's where we're at. We're very passive.
But that's again, they may be passive and negotiate and all that. The thing is that they're walking around in fear. And if it wasn't, it's a continuous state for humans. They just go from one thing to the next. Oh, that person up there looks scary. Oh, how am I going to pay my bills next month? Oh, there's a cop behind me when I'm driving home from work. It's just one thing to the next, to the next, to the next, and then they go and they watch these horrific drama television shows where everyone treats each other so, like, the most interesting characters are the ones that just shit on everybody around them,
Isn't that something? Like Kevin Spacey, and he turns out to be real. That's what's scary.
Well, that's nothing new. People of power have always been this way.
Oh, go ahead.
People, the sexual thing, it's not a new thing. People want to act like they're surprised about this, and that's the stupidest thing I ever heard. Everybody in Hollywood knew what was going on with Weinstein, and they didn't say anything, and they kept feeding him little girls. Well,
but then he flexed his power. Did you read the New Yorker article today by Farrow?
No, I didn't see that.
That he actually hired Mossad agents to go after these women to scare them into keeping their mouths shut.
Okay, look, if you're a woman and some guy is fucking with you and won't stop, all you have to do is punch him in the fucking mouth. Okay?
Oh, you're talking
And then the
about
second
though.
he goes into public again, or you go into public, you say, I punched this motherfucker in the mouth because blah, 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 blah. And don't take fucking millions of dollars not to say something.
Well, that's a tricky one, isn't it? That whole thing. Well, first of all, we're the weaker sex. Okay, so we're being fed.
Yeah, no, you're not. That is a fucking lie, and you know it. Why do you feel that way?
That's what we've been taught. That's what we've been brainwashed to.
Right. I'll agree with that.
Very little.
I'll agree with that. You wanna feel like, and everybody wants to feel like a victim somehow these days. You know.
Well, okay, so before we could.
When you say that you're the weaker sex, aren't you just admitting that you're already a victim?
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, we're raised to be victims. We're raised to be the weaker sex.
Yeah.
I mean,
I think that look, I don't think you have to be raised to be the weaker sex. If you have a daughter and you don't put her in karate classes by the time she's 5, you live in a completely unrealistic life. Okay, because by the time she's 10, she will be able to handle any fucking guy if she's in some type of martial arts class. Any guy who comes on.
Generations of people here. You know, I mean, you're going to have to get through the boomers and Gen X and Gen Y before, you know, women really start, you know, feeling that power. Yet, I mean, this is relatively the whole woman movement.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
You know, I mean, you're talking about reconditioning people's minds. It's not something that happens overnight.
Well, it all comes back to this victim thing. You know, it's somebody said, you know, Ashley Judd at that big women's meeting, she says, our pussies aren't for grabbing. That's fucking ridiculous. Of course pussies are for grabbing. Just not by, you know, your boss or whatever. You know, my hand is right there. Why do you think my hand is right next to where your pussy is at? Because it was designed for grabbing. Come on, get a clue.
Well, wait, you're going off in a whole other direction now. So, but I don't want to go. But the one thing I do want to focus on, and it's kind of similar, is what's coming out of this is the "it's okay to be white" movement, and that new, I want to say, the alt-right is basically saying we're human beings, we're men, and we're strong, and we're going to stand up to this. Now that's something brand new. I haven't heard anything like that, or even read anything.
Stand up to what? I don't understand.
Kennedy.
What's that?
I haven't read or seen that movement or seen that whole idea of men being assertive since reading before the in the 50s.
Oh.
And
yeah. There's a definite movement to neuter men.
Yeah, and that's changing with the alt-right.
I don't know about that. I think the alt-right is just they're mutating their fear into hate. It appears, you know.
You think so? I don't know.
It seems like they come from.
I've been digging into it. I've been digging into it.
Well, I hope you're right.
I'm not saying that they have the answers, but the thing is that there's. For the first time since I can remember, since anything I've read in history, at least through my whole life, I've never seen men stand up like that before. Never.
I don't know. You know, I
mean, other than guys who get in bar fights, you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I don't know if that's correct or not. I think that you know, I watched the Occupy people stand up. And I mean, they took to the streets and they stayed there. And that was under Obama. And they were like, it wasn't, you know, people like, oh, you know, everything was, you know, so peaceful under. No, we took to the streets and we were there for a whole year. camping out in every city across America.
But then what happened?
Then they labeled us potential domestic terrorists. Obama's Justice Department, Homeland Security, and they sent in their jackbooted thugs to bloody everybody that wouldn't move out of the camps.
They did that, and they also did something else which scared the women, and that was they started to bring the mentally ill and the drug addicts to the camp. That's what the cops were doing. Because I was in
and that's how criminal. That's how criminal. People say we got to respect the cops. That's how criminal the cops are. No better than criminals.
Well, the thing is, though, I mean, they have the guns, they have the power, they have the authority, and
they have the badge. We have guns too.
Well, you know, I mean, is that what it's going to come down to then?
Isn't that what it always comes down to?
Well, I don't think people are willing to go that far.
How do you think they're just gonna? You think they're just gonna let us succeed and make Cascadia without there being guns?
Well, I don't know. I mean, I think there's a way to go about it. I'm watching Catalan very carefully, and I think I kind of think they've taken a turn where it could get dangerous. But I think that movement is very strong. There's a lot more movements growing.
I sure hope so. I hope you're right.
Secession in I think 27 houses now have secession legislation passed. You have secession movements in New Hampshire, in all of New England. You have Hawaii, Alaska. California now has kind of pulled back, and they're talking about just splitting the state up. You've got Cascadia. You've got the New Republic or the New African Republic in the southeast. You have Ashkelon in the southwest. So you have the potential. You have these seeds. They're waiting to grow. And maybe it might take like a complete collapse of the economy for it to happen, for these movements to flourish. Or, who wants a Waco? I don't. I don't know if I'm...
Nobody wants violence, okay? Nobody wants violence. And thanks very much for calling. I'll let somebody get in. But thanks a bunch. It was good talking to you. Have you donated to Mox News?
I do.
Thank you very much. It's always good to hear from people who...
it's not much, but
help me stay strong. So, thanks a bunch, Kimberly. It's good to hear from you. Bye. All right. So, I don't know. What do you guys think? Is this going okay? You guys like, Wilco, how come you haven't called yet? Jones, I saw you out there. You know my number. Sugar's a really hard one to give up. Thanks, Jackie. Jackie Cat. That's a good name. So you guys are able to hear the callers okay and everything? Because I haven't tried this before. I don't know if the callers sound alright or... Cannabis Club? You gotta worry about the Monsanto. God bless Trump. Caller's a little bit muffled. Okay. Audio's good. It sounds good. Yes, sir. This is great. And you're the greatest. Yeah, but it was worth $5 when I cashed it in, beer. What do you think? I'm sitting on a gold mine just going, ooh, this is my life savings. I wish. So what? You got more? If you got Bitcoins, then you should be able to afford $5, right? I haven't seen anybody put anything in my Bitcoin wallet yet. What is that about? Nobody donated. Nobody's donating. I got so far, so I promised you guys daily updates of my pledge drive, of the Mox News end of the year pledge drive. So far today, we've received $1 donation. Down to 2. Down to 2. It's down to 2. My last name? My last name is Abaz. That was a tough one going through junior high, let me tell you. All right, so no one's calling. Can you see the phone number? 805 Mox News. Come on, what is the deal with 805 Mox News? 805 Mox News. Only one. Only one so far today, Jackie. But I think it was a monthly. I think she made it so it was going to go in my bowl every month. So I get one every month. So I got that going for me. Okay, let's see. Caller, you'll have to turn down the volume on your speakers on the computer. This is Mox News. How are you?
Oh, hey, how's it going, Mox?
Hey, who's this?
This is Sam from Florida.
Sam, good to hear from you, bro.
It's a great opportunity. I've been a fan of yours for years, and I was looking at my subscriptions, and I saw you were live, and this is a great opportunity to say thank you for all you've done for us.
Sam, you know, I'm just trying to do the right thing, my brother.
Yeah, I always feel for you, man. I wish I could have donated, but, you know, I'm on the poor side over here, you know, I mean, trying to do my own local charity.
Yeah, everybody's got their own thing going on. And everybody's tight. I know how that is.
Yeah, like, you know, but you're always in my thoughts. You're always in my prayers. You know, I just want to say, you know, it's just an awesome experience, what you gave us all. And you like, exposed so much media and hypocrisy. And this is a huge, huge thing you've done for the public at large. You know, you've exposed so much. You've taught me things, you know, just by you hosting these videos, these clips that, you know, might slip through the cracks. This hypocrisy, like, it's just a great awakening to, like, the media propaganda, the whole Project Mockingbird. You've done just such a good job on that. You should be very proud of what you've done.
I really just try to do the right thing, Sam. Thanks very much. I appreciate what you're saying, and it's just you know, I'm a really simple guy, and I'm just and I don't have a lot of technical abilities, you know, and I'm just trying to do what I know how to do with my technical abilities and the limited amount of technology that I have. That's all.
Yeah,
because and I appreciate what you're saying, because I feel like that there is something to be said about, you know, what it is that I have done, because I think that, you know, there was a lot of things that might not have been noticed had there not been a Mox News around.
Oh, yeah, definitely. You've educated, you know, massive amount of people. I mean, it's, you know, fathomable how much you've, you know, changed people's opinions, views of the world. In fact, I'd like to talk about a little bit about what you think of the current media situation, you know, especially, you know, post Donald Trump, like this, everything, you know. I mean, I've been following around since, like, 2012 and all that, and, you know, how Ron Paul got totally, you know, wrong, you know, put everything that Bernie experienced to shame. But now we're seeing, with the internet, we're seeing things like the reshaping of reality. You know, back in the day, you know, if it was written in the New York Times, Washington Post, or on ABC News or whatever, that was reality. You know, I mean, like, whatever they said went. Nobody knew. Nobody lived all across the world. Now we have internet, we have phones, we have forums, message boards, and we're starting to see an alternate reality. You know, like, we're seeing weird things. I think. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, no, I think you're right. I think that in the past, you know, knowledge was very limited, and the access to it was very controlled. It's like we could get a paper or we could tune into the evening news, but that was pretty much it. And or we get a couple papers. My dad always got 2 or 3 papers, and but these days anybody with a cell phone basically can turn into a journalist at any moment.
Yeah. I mean, we're seeing such huge changes. Like, and it's part of the thing. Like I'm very interested in politics, and I watch stuff, and I talk with my coworkers and everything like that. And we're just like, in particularly like what's going on with the Democrats, the left, the alt-left, SJWs, whatever the term they want to be called.
Right. These labels. The thing about the labels is they attach the labels basically so that you can go, oh, that person's a liberal, now I can disregard that person, or that person's a conservative or alt-right or whatever label it is that they need to use to disregard that person.
Well, yeah. I mean, I agree. I mean, that's why I said like the labels or like whatever. You do need some sort of term to refer to them. The left, I think the preferred term for me is corporate Democrat, in America kind of, term for it. But the thing you're seeing is like, in particularly, post Donald Trump, is that they're still kind of like in a dinosaur left in the past. Like they think they still control reality.
Oh yeah.
And what you see is they don't control reality anymore, but they still pretend like they do.
When you see a journalist, when you see a journalist go onto like the Washington Journal show, the call-in show on C-SPAN in the morning, and they get a caller, and the caller says, well, what is it that you feel about the overwhelming evidence that, World Trade Center 7 with explosives were used to take down World Trade Center 7, and, that it fell down at free fall speed, and all of the facts that, couldn't possibly turn out other way. And the journalist said, oh, I've never heard of any of these things. And it's just like ridiculous because they get tweeted that 1,000 times a day. So they just lose all credibility. It's like they're just lying. They don't want, it's just their whole thing is a lie. And I think it's making people crazy that the pillars, the giant pillars that are supposed to be unshakable in our community, journalism and policing and government and politics, these are supposed to be things that we look at for guidance and truth and this is the honesty, and it turns out they're all lying and they're all manipulating the truth in order to make a less beneficial tomorrow for all of us. I don't know.
Yeah,
it's horrible, dude.
Yeah. I mean, let's face it. They've been doing this for decades. We've been lied to for decades, right? And then we're just now getting this great awakening, this internet. It's like literally a gift from God to the people, a way for everybody to communicate, to find like not just facts, but truth, right? We want to know the truth. Facts can lead you into believing a lie. But the truth is what we're out to find. And this reality that's gone. Like, I was watching like a clip of the HBO Bill Maher show, and they're like, Rob Reiner was talking about the 17 agencies with the Russia. And that's a debunked, lie. The Coast Guard Intelligence Agency, they didn't, find out it was Russia, and you're seeing stuff now like Donna Brazil, even she's kind of like slipping in these like name drops of like Seth Rich, and we all know what's going on.
Oh, did she mention Seth Rich?
Russians killing her.
Did she mention? Did she mention Seth Rich? I missed that. Did she mention?
Yeah.
What did she say about Seth Rich?
Oh, she's name dropped him a few times already, right? And she's I think it was on these ABC shows. She's done so many interviews. I'm not hard. I can tell you which one it is. Drudge was posting it, I believe, for a while there, where she was talking about where like she was worried about how what happened to Seth Rich might happen to her. She was quote unquote saying the Russians.
Really?
No, it's not the Russians, because the USB speeds of 20 megabytes per second were on the metadata of the the DNC files. So it's obviously inside leak. So when she says the Russians, of course the Democrats know what she's really talking about. You know, it's an insider thing. But she was talking about she got security, she got video cameras. She was afraid, you know, she would be taken out, like Seth Rich, quote unquote, by the Russians, right? So we all know the truth now. It's just a different world.
Yeah, it was the
She's still
Russians
playing by
that
the
took
rules of
out
media.
Seth Rich. That
No,
makes
no.
sense.
You know, it's like they must have done something to her. You know, Dirty Donna, you know, they must have pissed her off something fierce.
She got put in a horrible position, you know, where she had to hold the lie through the end of the Bernie, you know, through the whole end of the election, because she couldn't come out even after Bernie was gone and say anything, because that would have ruined Hillary's election chances, you know, which is, speaking of Hillary, hey, thanks a lot for calling, all right? I'm going to give somebody else a chance. I want to talk about Hillary for a second. Nice to talk to you.
Thank you, Max. Appreciate all you do.
All right, it's good to hear from you. Stay cool. All right, so no one's donated so far during our little live thing, so you know. There's clickable links right underneath the video. I don't know. This is pledge drive through the end of the year. Now, speaking of Hillary and the Democrats trying to force her down our throats, you know, this is it's entirely the DNC's fault that Donald Trump is president right now, because Bernie Sanders would have been able to beat Donald Trump, I'm pretty sure. And the thing is because they took this person, and instead of listening to the people, they said it's Hillary's turn. Okay, it's not anybody's turn. This isn't a dynasty. And that's how they acted. They acted like, oh, it's Hillary's turn, so we're going to force her down. And that's the reason that they lost, because they put a person that was completely one of the most despised figures in American history up as their candidate for president. Completely unelectable. I don't care. You can tell me she got more votes. She is not electable. And if they try and run her again, I mean, first she gets beat by an unknown black guy. Okay? She got beat by a black guy with an African name in what everybody insists is a racist country. And then they run her again, and then they insist it's her turn now. She's not electable. It's entirely their fault. No one's calling. Hey, really? Beer, you got more Bitcoin? Oh, nice, bro. Anything helps, you guys. Like I said, nobody's donated. So far today, you know, I gave the pledge drive update for yesterday, last night, this morning, and then so far today, we've received $1 donation, which is cool. I mean, look, this is just something I need to understand. If you guys aren't going to help, if you guys don't think Mox News is a worthy endeavor, then there's not a lot I can do. Okay? I hate that money has anything to do with my life. I hate it. I hate it. I think money is gross. The way it influences people's lives is disgusting. And the one thing, you know, I'm going to be able to, at the end of this, people aren't going to, you know, when I'm explaining what I do with my life, I'm not going to have to say, I did this for money, and I did that for money, and I did these things for money. And that may be the world works, but that's not that's not my life. That's not what I'm trying to do. I'm here trying, and you hear the caller. You hear the caller, he said, thank you so much. I really questioned if he was being sincere there or not. At first, the caller from Florida, because he was like, you've made such a difference, and you've opened up so many people's eyes, and you've covered so many things that wouldn't have gotten covered if it wasn't for your efforts. Thank you, caller. I'm sorry, I don't remember your name. Might have been Thomas. But I think Thomas was the one before. Anyway, no one's calling. Why is no one calling? Is this thing on? Can you people hear me? Jackie, what do you mean you're hitting it again? You just donated. That's so nice of you guys. You guys are the greatest. This is what I keep saying too. And that's the thing. See, I keep thinking that, you know, if I had my little corner blanket set up, you know, where I printed out stories every day, you know, and a little blanket on a busy corner, and had little printed out news stories with stones put on top of them, and it had a little folded construction paper sign that said Mox News, and a little bowl that said tips. That when you guys would come by and you'd be like, hey, what's up, news dude? And I'd be like, hey guy, how's it going, man? And I'd be, you know, want to puff? And I'd be like, you'd just be like, hey, what do you got for me today, news guy? And I'd be like, well, have you seen this? Have you seen this? And you'd be like, well, what do I owe you? That's fantastic. Thanks for pointing that out to me. What do I owe you, news guy? I said, sir, knowledge is free, but lunch costs money. So if you'd like to help out with that, that'd be really fantastic. There's a tip bowl right there. Hope I see you again soon. And if you came by every single day and you're like, what do you got for me today, news guy? I mean, I'm just asking you, do you think that you would drop something in the bowl if you came by every day to get news from me on my little blanket? Where I was like, hey, look at these cool stories that I picked out for you today. Do you think you would drop something in the bowl? That's all I'm saying. I don't mean to beg. I don't want to beg. I fucking hate money. How many times I gotta say it? Hey, you're on Mox News. Hey, you're on Mox News. You're going to have to turn down the volume on your computer speakers.
I'm hitting the mute as we speak.
There you go. What's up?
Hey.
Who is this?
This is Jake
Hey.
Howard. I'm from Oklahoma.
Hey, Jake. Good to hear from you.
Hey, good to see you, man. I've followed you for years, but first time I've ever seen you do a live show.
This is the first time we ever done a live show.
Oh, okay. Well, that would explain it.
I'm glad you caught it. So, what do you think? Is it? Can you hear the phone callers okay and everything?
Yeah, I can hear you fine.
Okay.
On my Bluetooth here. Man, I got a question for you. I guess you just held up that pipe there. I got a neighbor. He's actually kind of my land baron. I work oil fields down here. And his wife, man, they just discovered she has bone cancer. I mean, it's hit her hard. She's almost in a catatonic state. I saw her a couple weeks ago, and she was doing just fine.
Yeah, that's horrible, dude. I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah, I would too. You're in Colorado, right?
Seattle.
Oh, Seattle. Okay. So I was talking with. She's in the hospital right now. She's about to come home on hospice, and I was talking with her husband, and telling him, hey, they're never on all kinds of pharmaceuticals.
Yeah.
You know, and I think that's what's causing whatever state of mind she's in right now, because she's very, very smart, very brilliant woman.
Yeah.
And I was suggesting that he get up there. He find some way to get up there to Colorado and see what they can do. I mean, I've seen the Run from the Cure documentaries, and
Yeah.
you know, I was explaining that to him, and he totally these DG Mind, they are they're in their late 70s, so but yeah, he was very open to
The thing you want to do is you want to in that situation you have to try and eat as much marijuana as possible, and as much cannabis. It's best to get it in a concentrated form, and you're able to get it in concentrated forms where you don't have to experience the psychotropic event effects, but I personally think that if you're experiencing pain and stuff like that, that you probably want a lot of those effects, because that takes so much of it away, and it really helps to ease your brain and reprioritize everything from being all crazy. Marijuana, the U.S. government is the only entity that owns a patent on cannabis. And the reason that they own the patent, you have to state a reason for the patent. And the reason it is stated on the patent is that cannabis has brain rejuvenating qualities. So it really helps. It really helps the brain sort things out and reprioritize everything to where you don't have to be all. That's why it's so effective with PTSD and things like that. And actually is why it's so effective with epilepsy and seizures.
Do you know of any kind of programs that are designed for people like this, that any kind of groups or anything that operate out there over there in Colorado that maybe I could look into to try and help these guys out?
There's just a ton of information online. I don't know anyone in Colorado or any organizations in Colorado right off the top of my head. But there's, it's just so much information online. It shouldn't be that difficult to find. And if you just start speaking to a few people out there, I'm sure that they will direct you in the right direction. If you don't find it right away.
What do you think the best? Well, obviously, some kind of something she can ingest, but what is it? Marinol, or these candies? What is
Marinol? Marinol isn't cannabis. Marinol is a synthesized big pharma form of cannabis, and so it's not actually cannabis. It's a big pharma thing, and most people that I've talked to don't think very highly of it. So what I would recommend is that you look online and look up Rick Simpson. For cancer people, you want to look up Rick Simpson and Rick Simpson oil. And Rick Simpson has been on the Canadian news multiple times, and he's been he's considered to be someone who's cured cancer or helped people themselves cure cancer through his Rick Simpson's oil, which is just a way of concentrating raw marijuana into a edible form of concentrated marijuana. And that's had very, from what I understand, it's had very, very high success rate with cannabis with cancer.
Yeah, I guess that's what he's mixing up, in that 5-gallon bucket. In the documentary Run from the Cure.
Yeah. Exactly.
Well, I don't think it'd be legal to take out a state.
No, it's not. So, you want to be really careful. You don't want. I mean, we live in a police state, and there's nothing that they want more than to trap you under their thumb, under the thumb of the police state. So. Just please be careful whenever I'm encouraging you guys to follow me and do exactly as you see. Be really careful because the police state is watching absolutely everything.
On that point, I'm sure you got other callers on the phone, so I won't take too much more of your time. On that point, what do you think of this deal with Sessions? I mean, he's recusing himself from everything, and he talks about going after.
He has to be replaced. He seems to have lost the respect of all the sitting Senate, who were all his buddies before, and people across the country. I don't really know who respected him in the first place, because he says idiotic things like good people don't use marijuana. I mean, that's the most retarded thing I've ever heard any politician say.
Yeah, I voted for him. This guy in the Attorney General's seat there is not the guy I voted for.
Yeah.
For Texas Senate. I don't know who this guy is. He's got to go.
Yeah, I agree completely. So
Going after marijuana.
What was your name?
Rather than the Clintons, he's going after marijuana. Marijuana users.
He's going after freedom, dude. And that's the whole problem, is these people don't have respect for your freedom.
Yeah, roger that.
All right. Well,
Okay,
thanks a bunch for calling, man.
Okay, take care, buddy.
Bye. Snickerdoodles. I make snickerdoodles. That's what I make. I got some right here. I had one already today. See, you know, they're not giant. I'm just trying to make sure I get properly medicated. That's all. But snickerdoodles are good. The kind that make you really snicker. So, testing. They got something on Sessions. You know, Sessions is, that's easy to believe. He's been around plenty. And what? Let's see. Let's check. And hey, look at, let's see what we got. We got something in the Bitcoin wallet. $10 in the Bitcoin wallet. We're back, baby. And is that from Ann? It says, Ann, $5, Ann. Thank you so much. And that's very, 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 very generous of you, and very kind for you to take time out of your busy world to be so kind. Thank you. I really appreciate it. And $10 in the Bitcoin wallet. I don't think it says who it's from. That's from you, right, Beer? That's from you, right, Beer? You're the man, Beer. Time for Bubbles Dash. What's that? Oh, Bubble Hash. Really? What you got over there, Mitchell? Huh? This. See, that's cookies. This. That's the Fruity Pebbles. At least that's what he said it was. I thought Fruity Pebbles had more color than that. But it's good. Times are tight. I know, Ann. I know. I think it's super generous of you. You gave exactly what I asked. I'm asking all Mock's new subscribers if you can please kick down $5. Okay? And I hear, you know, you say, hey, times are tight, and, you know, I got my own thing going on. Everybody's got their own thing going on, and everybody's tight. I get it. You know, I'm tight. I got $26 in tips in September. Okay, and less in October. So I get it. I know times are tight. Times are tight. So, but why aren't you calling? That's what I want to know. I mean, I get why you're not tipping. Wilco tipped. Wilco was in the first day tippers. He's like, I'm going to make up for some of your slacker trolls that he knows will never tip. Those were his exact words. Slacker trolls that will never tip. And you know what? You slacker trolls should be the very first ones to tip. And you know why? You name one news YouTube page that makes you slacker trolls feel more at home than Mock's News. Huh? I want to hear it. Which one? Beer, you're the man. Thanks very much. I really appreciate it. I'm not hearing it, slacker trolls. Come on. All right, so let's see. No one's calling. How long we been doing this? Hey, we got an hour. We did this for an hour. I guess I don't know. The callers are kind of long, huh? I probably talked to people too long. We're down to 22 people. There's only 22, and my roommate's one of them. At least one. What do you mean? Oops. Is that right? How do you pronounce that? Howard? Ooze? Is that how you pronounce that? You did. When did you send that? There's no time like the present, Howard. There's another one. $10. Jackie! You're the greatest, Jackie. An hour is good. You think we should call it, Ann? Think we're good here? Down to 21. How often should I do them, Ann? What do you think? I need another cup of tea. Somebody give me a fucking cup of tea! Twice a week? That's plenty of me, huh? Okay. I will see. I think it went okay. We need to see more social, political, animator, break from funny, non-commercial Hercubush. Okay, Craig. We know how you feel, Craig. Five? Oh, 5 times? You think 5 times a week? People will get really tired of my face. Yeah, no, they're already tired of it. Jackie, I checked it. Didn't you hear me say thank you? I checked it. It said $10, Jackie. Uh-oh. Did I get another one? Did I get another one? That's the one from Jackie, right? Wait, what? Jake! Jake! You the man, Jake. $40 from Jake. Jake, you the man. That you, Jackie? Or is that Jake? Why don't you do YouTube Hangout? What's that? Why don't you do YouTube Hangout? What does that mean? Why don't you do YouTube Hangout? Isn't that what I'm doing? Howard, you the man. Jay, you the man. Jackie, love you too, baby. Oh, is that something different than what we're doing? A YouTube Hangout is something different than what we're doing? Howard. Jake, thank you so much, buddy. It was very generous of you. So far, on the end of the year pledge drive, Jake, you are the highest tipper so far. $40 is the highest tip we've gotten. Well, the pledge drive started yesterday, 40 hours ago or whatever. So far in the last 40 hours, Jake, for our end of the year pledge drive, you are the #1 tipper. Let's hear it for Jake. Woo! Jake, buddy! It's a conference for hangout. Okay. Hangout, have guest video. Oh, that does sound good. Guest video. Would you guys like that? Would you like it if we did guest videos? If you guys could add your own video stream to what we're doing? Or do you have to This is the kingdom of the trolls, baby. Jackie. Baby Jackie. Jackie cat. Baby Jack. No one's calling. There's no reason to keep going, right? You need to put more diverse people on, not just C-SPAN, MSM. Like who? You want Jake. Oh, Jake. Okay, Jake. Jackie Cat. I can't call you Jackie Cat, baby. Jake. You guys, thank you very much. You totally made my YouTube live. That is very cool. I had fun. I hope you guys had fun. No one's calling. Should we keep going? Thanks, Ann. I know you guys are the best. If it wasn't for you guys, I wouldn't be here. So you know. Beer. You get to Seattle, you let me know, man. We'll make that happen. You're not in Seattle, are you? I don't do the beer, but I got cookies. Everything's free. Did I not say something wasn't free? The only thing I said wasn't free is lunch. My lunch costs money, Marine. I don't know why you think that it's not okay for me to ask for lunch. Or well. I will look for other stuff. You want, I mean, you know I post other things. Last month, the #1 video was a documentary about what really happened at the Pentagon on 9/11. That was very alt news, right? That was I think that might have been #2 video last month. So I do. Live stream is where the money is. Money. I'm not about money. I'm about you guys. If live streaming is what you want, again, the reason I'm asking for help is so that I can live stream some of this hearings. These hearings are important, and I know you guys would love to be commenting right then when it's happening. All right. Hey, this is Mox News. You're going to have to turn down the volume on your computer.
Hey, Mox, Santa from Florida again. Sorry to call like twice in a row, but I'm watching the stream, and I think it's, amazing. Like, I think this could be your calling. I think people are right about making money for you. This is going to be a good thing. I think live streams, like you see this with video gamers all the time, they practically make a living off this. And I was wanted to pitch a few ideas, teach a man to fish, if you will. I think you should create a video, like, just a little promo saying, hey, guys, we're going to have the Mox Collins show on Wednesdays at 8 or whatever time you want. And, you can discuss things. Like, there's certain things I'd like to know about you. Like, when I see your videos and your titles, sometimes you have, kind of sarcastic titles. And, sometimes I'm wondering, what exactly do you think of these videos?
Don't you think that's a good thing, the sarcastic? Don't you think that the sarcastic titles are a good thing?
I think they're good, but sometimes I want to know a little bit more. Like, it leaves questions in my mind, and if you're going to do this live stream.
See, this is the thing. I think questions in your mind are more important than me answering those questions. I mean, I'm happy to answer questions about me, but I want you questioning. I want you to question these things and for you to come up to your own conclusions. See, I don't want to be fucking Alex Jones. I don't want to be Sean Hannity. I don't want to be Don Lemon telling you what it is that you're supposed to think. And that if you don't think that way, that you're a fucking sheep. Okay? I don't want to do that. I'll tell you what it is that I think. And it's really important that you know that what you think is just as important. Especially if you hold those thoughts and beliefs as strongly as I do myself.
I
even if they're stupid and you're fucking wrong.
I agree, but at the same time, I'd like to know what Mox thinks. It's not like
I will be more than happy to do these. I'll be more than happy to do these meetings.
You're your own being. You shouldn't be ashamed of that. Right?
I'm not ashamed at all.
Ashamed out of it because of others.
It's just
you shine on your own light.
Again, like I said, I'm more than happy to share what it is that I think, what it is that I feel, what it is that I believe. I'm very open, very honest in that way. I always have been. And yeah, sometimes it comes across in a very smart-assy, sarcastic way, but it's it's nothing if not direct and from the heart, Even the sarcastic stuff.
I think the heart is where it's at, it's up to you, you create your own little, YouTube playground, if you will, here. And, I think, people would be interested in talking to you. People would be interested, like kind of like a C-SPAN kind of thing too, where everybody kind of gets their, soapbox, where they can do whatever they want, discuss the topics of the day. I mean, you cover a lot of stuff in a week, there's like interesting topics.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think we should talk about even all the things that we already talked about. This conversation about fear really needs to be had in a much, much bigger way.
Well, fear is a huge controlling factor. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, without fear, you wouldn't, do much anything. You wouldn't go to war or, pay as much in taxes or any kind of thing.
You wouldn't fucking pay taxes at all if you didn't have any fear. Ha! Right?
Yeah. I mean, I'm thinking this live stream thing is a good thing for you. I think it's a good thing. I'm glad you finally did it.
Well, I'm really glad you called.
You should definitely consider adding this to it. Obviously, the money's already been flowing in a little bit better than before, and I think if you do it, I think this could be your calling. It could really help you out, and I think people want it.
Well, I really appreciate your encouragement, and I'm trying. Like I said, I'm trying to do the right thing, and I've always, and this is one of the things that I agree has always been missing from my my production here on YouTube, is that I haven't allowed you guys to know myself and my I haven't allowed you to really interact with me enough, so that you can get a good feeling of who I am, because I do come across in all these different ways. I mean, the biggest reasons people give for not wanting to donate to Mox News is that I'm a liberal, or that I'm a conservative, both of those, or that I'm a Donald Trump supporter, or that I'm not a Donald Trump supporter, both of those, or that I'm a Barack Obama supporter or not a Barack Obama supporter. They give both those answers, and that's part of one of the things that I've always wanted. I am not any of those people's supporter. I'm here to just present the facts, not give some jackass my support. Of course I want them to do well, but that's not what my job is to help them, continue an endless war for profit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I totally hear you on that, and nobody wants to be pigeonholed into labels and such, but, at the same time, you were talking about fear. You can't be afraid, you can't be afraid of being pigeonholed either, and everything's your prerogative and stuff, but I'm thinking this would be a great platform for, fellow Mox News.
Like I said, I agree.
They
I think
have their own little soapbox, they can communicate with each other, give these ideas out, and I'm sure it'll help you out monetarily.
It's just, I just kind of am figuring this out. I mean, we just got the phone number a couple days ago, and ever since I got the phone number, I'm like, I want to do a live show. I want to do it, because that's a great phone number. So.
This is going to be a real turning point for you, Mox. I think you shouldn't give up on it. I mean, this is
I am not giving up on anything. I'm simply asking for the support of my community, dude. I think that's a reasonable thing to ask, don't you?
Yeah. I don't know if I'm not communicating correctly here. I'm fully support you. I fully
No, you were incredibly encouraging, and I mean, to the point of, I really thought that you were being sarcastic with the first time that you called, when you were talking about all the things that I did. So.
No, I've been watching you for years, Mox.
Yeah.
Years. I can't even remember how long, since YouTube started practically, right? When you had like a 12 channels, I watch you cry when you get your 3 strikes. It really, felt the emotion. And, I'm just glad to see you're still around. And I'm hoping nothing but the best. And I want to see the best for you. And I'm thinking this is the ticket for you. And I just want to say,
a lot of people are doing really well live streaming, and I think there is a market here for like a Mox live stream. And I'm thinking,
I'm
great donations, and I'm hoping for more. I want to do really, really well.
We'll do this again in a couple days just to check back in with you guys and see, because it seems like fun, and it's nice to hear you guys, and it's nice to talk with you guys, and it seems like the 23 people here that are here are enjoying it. So, you know, we'll give it a go again here in a couple days. All right?
All right, thanks, Mox. I just wanted to say you're doing a great job, and I hope you nothing but the best success. And I'm thinking you might have just found a gold mine here for you. And I just wanted to let you know that I enjoyed it. And I'm sure eventually, as this catches on, and if you put little YouTube trailers, say, "Hey guys, call into Mox on Wednesday at 8," more people will find out. And
that's a good idea. That's a good regular thing on Wednesdays or something like that. I like that.
Yeah, little trailers a day or two before, saying, "Hey guys, call in at Mox," and we'll have the number up on the stream when it's up, and that way you don't have phone calls every day or whatever.
You think Wednesday's a good day? You think that's better than the weekends?
I just threw that day out at random. It's entirely up to you. As long as you advertise ahead of time, you can pick whatever time you want.
I'm just wondering. I mean, because, you know, like a lot of the cool people have stuff to do on the weekends, you know?
Yeah, weekdays are better, you know. Like, I mean, I'd love to see a political discussion show. You know, you get the crackpots, you get the real geniuses, you get the average Joes. But, you know, sometimes people just want to hear each other. That's why forums are big. That's why Skype is big. That's why, you know, Twitter and Discord and all these other communication devices are, taking over. And, you know, people just want a platform. People want to hear things. People want to hear different points of opinion.
Yeah.
And, you know, some of us, we want to hear you. And I don't think you should be afraid or apologize for it. And I think, I think this is a great start. Great start.
Well, thanks a bunch again, Guy. Nice to hear from you.
I hope you do well, Mike.
Okay. Talk to you again before too long. Bye. All right, you guys. So you want to keep doing this? All right. So, Beer, I love music. I love all kinds of music. I love live music. I love, you know, the band Ween? I love Ween. I've seen Ween like 4 times. I saw somebody ask a good question. What was it? You rock. I know. Jackie. Oh, Jake. Sorry, Jake. I am going to call you Jackie Cat forever, Jake, so you know. What music do I like? Love Ween. You guys know Ween? 12 great country hits. That is such a good album. Oh, my God. No food stamps. I probably would qualify for food stamps, but I don't get them. Or is that the name of a band? I don't want anything to do with the government. Meat washing. You people. And no one gonna call? All right. I'll just keep reading comments. See, I may live under a bridge near you. Somebody asked a question that I wanted. Let's see, music. It was before the music question. This is the first time. No announcement. You get 25 people immediately. Let's see. Wait until I like Kimberly too. That was a good call. Thanks for calling, Kimberly. Oh, no taxes. Freedom is not free. Oh, is that it? Who else here is connected? They will lower your taxes. You guys, anyways. Oh, The Rock. That was it. Ann, you believe The Rock is running? I really hope The Rock is running for president. If you're still here, Ann. I really hope The Rock is running for president. He's kind of my man crush. Have you guys seen Central Intelligence Agency? I love that movie. I mean, it's not the greatest movie or anything, but his character is amazing. I always enjoy his character. I really think he would be, I mean, he's probably got these skeletons because he's like, you know, one of these Hollywood kind of people. But I really think he would be great. I would love to cover him in the 2020 election. That would be so awesome. It does look like he is. I've seen a couple of stories where it says that he's running. Right? He's talking about it anyways. My dog does love cheeseburger. It's not my dog, it's your dog. But he does love cheeseburgers, so if anybody wants to buy Rufus a cheeseburger, you know how to do it. There's a text link right there. I'm going to put Rufus in the text link that says, buy Rufus a cheeseburger, $2. But I will give you I'll give you a video with Rufus in the next day or so. Hey, buddy. He's crashed out. He's such a stoner. He had a bunch of cookies last night, and he's all... So, I don't think you're going to get him over here. But I'll get him over here in the next couple days. And and I will introduce you to Rufus so you can know. And I'll tell you the story of how my roommate's dog, Rufus, became my beautiful baby. Okay? Because it's a good story. And it will make you cry. So you know. I used to feed Rufus big bowls of onions when he was a puppy. And you might not believe me, but think about what it is that I said to you all along. Does it seem like I'm a liar? When he was a puppy, I would take him and I would feed him big bowls of onions. And that's the truth. And he's going to be 9 in like a week. He turns 9 on November 16th, so... I'm totally serious. I don't say things just to hear the sounds coming out of my mouth. Because he wanted onions. He loves onions. I don't feed him onions anymore. He loves onions, so. Because we're cooking onions. And when you're cooking stuff, you know, part of what we do here in this pack that Rufus is a part of, is that we all share meals. So whatever it is that I am eating, Rufus gets a certain percentage of that so that he knows that he's part of this pack. That's just the way it works in this pack. And when he was a puppy, I cooked a lot of onions. But he's doing great. He's amazing. I'll introduce you next day or so. I have 2 roommates. No. I do too. You know, a friend of mine gave me that. He said that he was tripping. I don't know if you know Seattle, out on the app. He was tripping out on the app, and he came across his store, and there was this ganache, and it kept waving him, and he said the poster would tell him that it belonged with me. So he bought the poster and gave it to me. That's the story of the little man who sits on my shoulder. Is it Kali? That's Ganesh. Lord Ganesh, I guess, is the proper way. I don't know if that's pronounced correctly or not, but that's the way I read it. Beer! What are you puffing on over there, buddy? No, I'm about 15 minutes north of Seattle. I don't think you call that. I used to live in downtown. I was living downtown in 2001 under the in the shadow of the tallest building down there. And what would happen is every once in a while, like a big jet would fly like right over the city, and I would sit straight up out of bed, and I'd be like, "What's happening?" And I was like, "I gotta get out of downtown." So I don't live downtown anymore. But if you're single, I recommend staying out of the suburbs, because the suburbs are a slow death if you're single. At least for a guy like me. Watermelon bones, really? Huh. Can you make us mods? I don't know what that means. What does that mean, Jake? I don't know if that's true or not, and suicide, you know, it might have been back in the day, but things kind of changed after the grunge movement, you know? 9/11 changed everything. I don't know. It's not that. People say, you know what I tell people all the time is that this place has the best weather on the planet, and that's the way I feel about it. End of story. We need mods. What are mods? Someone tell me. Moderators on the channel. I don't think so. Who's going to be a moderator on the channel? What is it? What is it that you need moderators for? Explain why you need moderators on the channel. I love the rain. Monitor the chat rooms. Keep the spammers off. Are you telling me I got a bunch of spammers on my channels? Because I don't see it. You want me to block and ban people? What people is it you want me to take away their free speech on Mox News? What's wrong with foul language? And who says what language is foul? And who says what language is okay and what language is not okay? You guys get that I'm a freedom guy, right? And that freedom of speech is first and foremost. Seattle's as good as it gets, Bugs. You'd like it. They will come. I've been here for 12 years now. What are you talking about? You're going to have to turn down the volume on your computer so we don't get feedback.
Yeah, dude.
Okay, this is Mox News. What can I do for you?
Yeah, this is Jake again. I called earlier.
Hey, Jake.
Big donator tonight.
Is that the Jackie Cat? Jackie Cat?
No, I'm not Jackie Cat.
Okay, Jake.
Somebody else.
You're the top donator.
I'm Jay Howard in the
Jay,
chat room.
you're the top donator for the.
I am.
That's pretty cool, Jay. Thank you very much, Jay.
Hey, no problem, man. No problem. I think check this out. You know, for kind of get a couple of buddies. You know, smoke some pot. First of all, people like seeing that. I can't. I operate heavy machinery. But back when I was about 15, when I was in my teens and early 20s, I used to smoke out all the time.
So you like seeing people smoke pot?
Hell yeah. Hey, go look at those channels. You know, where
okay,
they're smoking pot.
So let me ask you a question, Jake. One of the coolest things about marijuana being legal is that you get to go to the store and it's just like going to the candy store when you're a kid. There's like there's like 40, 50 different strains of weed to choose from. And then there's like edibles and there's, concentrates and all these different things, right? So what I was thinking is I could start offering to do reviews of different strains of cannabis for people, and I can send you the menu to where, because all these stores that have 40, 50 different strains available, they have menus online. and I could send you a link to that menu, and you could go and pick a strain that you would love to have reviewed, and then I can bring it out here and put it on camera and smell it for you and taste it for you and make concentrates out of it for you. Do you think you might like that?
That wouldn't really be for me, but here's what I was gonna kind of punch out there. Just smoke some pot and talk about politics. Not just politics, but world events, everything, whatever's going on for the day. I'm a big Godlike Productions junkie. I don't know if any of the people in your room, or if you're even, are you familiar with godlikeproductions.com?
What productions?
godlikeproductions.com.
I'm not familiar, but the name is very familiar.
Well, it's a news aggregate, kind of like Drudge Report.
Uh-huh.
It's interactive. You got a bunch of you go and you can make comments underneath these articles, like on Drudge Report. You know, and you can get other people's. You can get an idea of what the tom-toms out there are thinking. But this kind of format, you know, I would love. There's plenty of people out there that do reviews on pot.
Yeah.
And just, you know, the girl, you go review each of these, you know, pot smoking channels. They get a lot of numbers.
Yeah.
You know, they get a lot of views just because people want to see somebody smoke. I work in Oklahoma. Like I said, I operate heavy machinery, so I don't mess with marijuana. You know,
Right, I get, and that's the reason that I thought that this might be of interest to people, because like you said, when you were younger, that you used to, and you actually do appreciate the herb, the goddess, shall we say, and because of that, I thought that it might be of interest to you to do this type of, you know, if you could look at a menu and choose from 40 different types of herb and say, yeah, I really like to know about that one. Because there's a couple of them that I really want. When I see the menus, like you see ones like Narnia and stuff like that, and you're like, man, I'd really like to know what that. I want to go in search of Narnia.
Well, yeah, you could do that too, but man, I wouldn't focus too much time on that. Maybe, you know, if you're gonna do this kind of show, a live stream every day, the reason people are talking about mods in your room, there's not enough people right now. I mean, you probably don't care about people cussing and stuff like that, but once you get about, you know, you build up a base, you're going to get, you know, 500, 600 people, you know, and that's what they're talking about. You're going to get a bunch of spammers. I would never mod myself. I don't even know how to do it. But these call-in shows like me and you know, talking right now, people want to hear this kind of stuff. They want to hear what regular people, you know, such as myself, think about world events, kind of like that news aggregate, godlikeproductions.com. You know, me and you having a exchange right now, you know, people want to hear this kind of stuff.
And I really appreciate it. I'm really glad you called, Jade. It's and I really appreciate your support. It means a lot. And this is just something new that I thought I would try, and it seems to be going well. I think. Do you think that you can hear the callers okay and everything?
Yeah. Actually, I can, surprisingly well. There's a lot of people out there that have crappy mics. I think you're just holding your phone up there, aren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, no problem hearing the callers. Well, the few callers that you have had, you guys in the chat room, why don't you guys call in? Just talk about anything.
Yeah, I just wanted to get, this is just like a test run to see how it goes, and if, you know, like I said, the sound works and all those kind of things, so.
One thing I want to bring up, you talked about your buddy. This is a story I remember about you from your, I guess about a year ago. Your buddy invited you to go bowling, and
yeah.
Turns out, you know, a week later he was shot.
Yeah.
Man, I know how you feel. You know, that was very touching. You know, I thought you're a nice guy. I've been a subscriber to Mox News for years because I don't have time to go through all these channels and look up, you know, this collage of BS. You know that.
I do this pretty good, right? I mean, I do a pretty good job, don't you think?
Oh yeah. I don't know how you find the time to do it.
Yeah. Thank you.
I mean, how do you find the time to do it? I'd like to know.
I just get excuse me. I have 3 or 4 DVRs recording stuff 24 hours a day, and I just prioritize getting through as much of it as I can to make sure that we're not missing out on anything that is a little piece of gold here or there, because like an earlier caller said, that a lot of this stuff I actually think might not ever have been covered if it wasn't for Mox News. And back in the day, we were getting better numbers than CNN on YouTube. And the thing is that I'm pretty sure an awful lot of the news talking heads were tuning into Mox News first thing to see what was the latest thing that was being talked about or what might have been missed by their people. And sometimes I would post stuff and you'd see it come up on Fox News like 20 minutes, 30 minutes later. So.
Yeah, I mean, I guess you get a lot of, I'm so used to just, Mox, I watch you on my Roku. Look,
right on.
Has changed. You guys, alternative media is the future. These people, these talking heads on CNN.
They've just lost all credibility, man.
Yeah, nobody watches it anymore. First of all, their base doesn't even watch them. These people that they supposedly try to reach, to all this Black Lives Matter and stuff like that. They don't watch news. They listen to rap music.
Not online. I mean, not on the television. They don't.
No. So
yeah.
The only funding that they get is from people like George Soros. The bad characters.
Bad actors,
causing all these problems, trying to start a damn civil war. I mean, it's out of control, and they won't stop. They keep. How they have any credibility? I don't know how they're able to stay on the air, other than the billions of dollars that these people like George Soros, the Saudis, all this stuff that's going on over in Saudi Arabia right now.
Well, they all are in on the war profiteering, and that's how they stay in business, is that they're the mouthpiece for the war profiteers. So there's plenty of money for them.
Well, with what's going on in Saudi Arabia right now, whatever is
yeah.
going on over there, these people, they're the ones that have been funding these people, these news agencies too. From what I've read, like I said, this Godlike Productions news aggregate, they report on this kind of stuff. All these princes, they've had their hands in our politics. They're funding these Democrats. Look, the rat's nest is getting flooded. So they're jumping out as much as they can, and they're about to lose their damn funding. So this 5-degree...
everything seems to be reaching really close to a tipping point. So things are getting really super interesting, and that's a big part of why I'm pushing to try and help get properly funded for the Mox News, is because you guys know that my heart is in the right place. You know that I'm here trying to do the right thing, and when this stuff really starts hitting the fan, I want to be able to do the best job that I can for you guys. And that's all there is to it. I mean, that's just the honest. That's as simple as I can put it, because, I'm just waiting. That's my whole thing. I feel like I came here to witness this like really amazing event. Like something huge is going to happen in the course of human history at any moment, and I'm in position to make sure that I help as many people as possible see it and are able to express what they feel need to be expressed about it. And I'm really glad that I'm in that position, and I would hate to lose being in that position. And that's the reason why I keep fighting to come back and be in that position again, is I know something gigantic in the course of human history, huge, monumental, like direction changing. It's either going to be this huge tip or just some kind of a I don't know. You know what I'm saying? It just feels like everything's boiling to reaching this boiling point, and it's just about to just explode over. And I just want to be there, and I want to cover it, and I want to help you guys to, not miss out on stuff that I caught that I think is probably pretty important for everybody. That's all. So.
Well, you're a good philosopher, man. Let me see if I can translate that a little bit. A lot of people think biblical, and I'm not going to get all, Christian here, but I'm saying a lot of people think the biblical times have ended. No, they never did. Every single day that goes by, is fulfilling some prophecy to whatever point we're going to reach. Every day that goes by is taking us to that point. I mean, everything. Fukushima, North Korea, China and Russia, Iran, everything that's going on in the world, Saudi Arabia, everything that's going on in the world right now.
Is that what that noise is? I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, it's reaching a boiling point, and I mean, you couldn't make a movie, as interesting as this.
I agree. I agree. It's definitely it's beyond fiction. I mean, they always say life is crazier than fiction or whatever. And you couldn't make this stuff up unless you were. I mean, I guess Al Franken kind of predicted that Donald Trump would be president a few years back, but. And Mike Judge seemed to get it right with Idiocracy, so.
Yeah, that's great film.
It's actually really important, and people should probably watch it at least once a year or so.
Yeah, it's not a parody. It's actually reality.
It's a really important film. All right, Jay, Will, it's really good to hear from you, and thanks very much for all your help, dude.
Hey, no problem, man. Hey, you guys in the chat room, you guys call in. I'm just a regular guy out here.
Regular guy who's the top donor at Mox News for the current pledge drive. Thanks, Jay.
You guys in the chat room, call in, man. That's why I'm watching right now. I want you guys to call in. I want to hear what other people have to say.
All right, I'll be back in a sec. All right, hey, Jay, just keep talking. I'll be back in just a sec.
Okay. Well, I guess I'm going to run the show here. Actually, I'd have to pull up some articles or something, but let's see what you guys are seeing in the chat room. That way I can comment on whatever it is. Great. Now I'm on the spot here. Well, anyway, I'm going to tell you guys a little bit about myself. Okay, no. Let's go to this, what happened in Texas with this mass shooting. This guy with the AR-15 walks into this church and kills over 25 people.
Thanks, Jay.
Supposedly 30 people were. Oh, you're already back. Hey, let me tell you the story real quick. This shooter supposedly just went nuts and killed all these people. So this patriot shoots him a couple of times. He hauls ass down the road. Well, this is what I'm getting at. I actually look exactly like that guy. I had buddies calling me up once the pictures of this guy started hitting the internet. They're like, man, that guy looks exactly like you. And so I pulled up the pictures and spitting image of this guy. So I'm afraid to go to Walmart's right now.
Gonna get asked for your autograph, man.
No, I'm not. Seriously, man. I mean, the guy that shot up all those people in that church. I look exactly like him.
Well, he had a really crazy look in his eyes, dude. I hope you don't look exactly like him.
Man, almost at the hey, look, you're listening to me right now. I'm a conservative. I'm a gun owner. I believe in gun rights. I was definitely on the side of the guy coming out of that church.
All right, Jay, I'm going to get the other caller coming up, all right? Thanks for calling, man. Hey, caller.
Call from unknown caller.
Oh, call from unknown caller. Dang. Sorry, Jay. I didn't mean to cut you off. Actually, I did, but I apologize for it. Want to get, because we're trying to get another caller. You're encouraging the other callers, other people to call in that were in the chat room. 26 people. If you guys like to call, we can keep doing this for a little bit longer. Should we keep doing this for a little bit longer? Ann, are you still in here?
Call by pressing 1.
What?
You could have taken that call by pressing 1. It would have brought him online, even with no caller ID.
Okay. Pressing 1 allows me to bring the caller online. I will do that next time. Okay, I'm not going to press 1. Make sure your volume on your computer is shut off. All right, you need to make sure the volume on your computer is shut off. This is Mox News. How you doing?
Good. This is Ann.
Hey, Ann. Thanks for calling.
Oh, no problem. So I just wanted to find out what everybody thought, about all of these so-called victims that were supposedly rescued in Houston, Florida, Puerto Rico, but we haven't seen any of these people. So it's just like, where is everybody and what's really happening?
And Houston and Puerto Rico, well, I don't know. It's weird the way the news works. It just kind of moves on. It doesn't kind of follow through with what happened in Houston and stuff, because there seem to be a lot of displaced people in Houston. But I guess the water recedes and they go back home or something. I don't know. The Puerto Rico situation, I don't think is that's where that's at just yet. But
Yeah, because Trump made them wait 14 days for water and food.
well, they seem to still be waiting for an awful lot of stuff, and the Puerto Rico situation sounds really horrific.
Yes. It's like they're taking out the islands before they come in for the mainland.
When they gentrified New Orleans, we got another caller. Okay, Ann, thanks a lot.
Okay. Bye.
Bye. Hello, caller. I pressed 1, man. Hello, caller. All right. So, sorry about that, Ann. Again, I apologize for cutting you off. You're the greatest, Ann. Yeah, when they gentrified after Katrina, it became really clear that they seemed to be using the hurricanes as some kind of a weapon to be for the rich or something. And this is okay. Got a caller. We got a caller. Let's see what we got here. Let's see your hello, caller. You'll have to shut off the volume on your computer. This is Mike. How can I help you?
Hey, Mike.
Hey, buddy.
Oh, I'm just still hearing echo. I maybe should turn off my computer or something.
What's up?
I just want to thank you.
Who is this?
This is Lady Zant.
Lady?
Lady Zant, yes.
Well, hi. How are you?
Good. I just want to thank you. For many, many years, I was homeless. And your streams were my only access to any sort of news.
I've had a number of people tell me that that they were in situations where Mox News or C-SPAN Junkie was pretty much one of their only sources for news, and that they really, really appreciate that it was there. So I hear what you're saying, and I'm glad I could be of service at a time of need.
So yes, you meant so much for me, and I really so appreciate it. And my husband signed up, I believe, monthly.
Oh, well,
last year.
That's very nice of you.
Well, that was last year, but I will just double check again that that's still in force, that you're still getting that donation. No, I wanted to thank you so much for definitely you were there, because
that's how we got news, because you can go to the library and get free Wi-Fi or whatever. So thank you so very much.
I thank you for letting me know that I was of service to you, because that's what I keep saying is, that that's really what I'm trying to do, is I'm just trying to be of service to whoever it is that I can, be of service to in this way. This is what I know how to do. So I'm glad that it helped.
It definitely did. And like I said, as soon as we were in a place where we could give back, but I wanted to let you know that you really did impact our lives.
And thank you for your monthly help, because every little bit, it's been so tight, and it's solely because of people like you who do take the time to let me know that you appreciate what it is that I've been doing. Because if it wasn't for you and generous people like yourself, Mox News would not have been able to survive. So I want you to know that also. So thank you very much.
You're very welcome, and I will double check that. But I swear a year ago he set up a monthly. But this little fundraiser drive is a reminder to me to make sure that he still has that on.
Thank you.
And
I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Christmas coming up. You can always drop a Christmas bonus if you want.
Okay, I'll see what I can get him to do.
I'm just kidding.
I know.
While you're checking, but thanks a bunch, and it's good to hear from you. Tell your husband thanks too.
Oh, well, definitely I will, and I share lots of clips with him, because I'll tell him, did you know this happened? And he's like, no, and I'm like, no, I can show it. Here, let me show you this clip. So, no, thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay, thanks. Well, I'll be doing this again soon. Do you think that this is a good idea to do the live call-in? Do you like this?
I like it, and I like having a live chat. Yeah, I think it's a good idea.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully then we'll hear from you again before too long.
Okay.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye. She was so nice, huh? You guys are so nice, and that's the thing about, being able to feel like I'm of service to this community, is that you guys are the greatest. I mean, we have had some of the most amazing discussions on some of these videos in the comment section, and you guys, I know that you feel like I've been of service. So that's the reason that I'm out here asking for help, because I just want to make sure that it continues. And it really shouldn't be that hard. No individual, there's plenty of people here that no individual should have to give more than, $5. And I think asking for $5, which is basically lunch, seems more than reasonable after 12 plus years of service. So, and thank you to all of you who have helped to make that happen, and the reason that I am still here. Hey, this is Mox. You're going to have to turn the volume on your computer down so we can go live. How can I help you?
Hey, Moxie, this is Jackie Cat.
Hey, Jackie Cat.
Hey! I just put two and two together and realized, because you said something about C-SPAN Junkie, that was you?
Yeah, C-SPAN Junkie.
Well, you guys tell me the story of what the heck happened with that, because I heard you say some stuff about, and some folks in the chat too, talking about different channels that you had that got shut down.
Yeah, well, we started off...
I didn't actually know about that. I'd love to hear a story.
We started off as my first channel on the YouTube was called Not With Bush, because at the time Bush was president, and Bush was famous for making the statement that you're either with us or you're with the terrorists. And I was not with Bush. So that was my first presence on the YouTube, and because of posting stuff that I was kind of feeling my way through YouTube at that time, seeing what I was going to be able to post and what I wasn't going to be able to post, and and because of posting clips from The Daily Show and from Colbert and a couple other places that probably are similar to that, they took down a couple of Not Bush pages. And then Bush wasn't around anymore, or was headed out the door, and it seemed like it was smarter to move on to something else. And one of the things after my beginning on YouTube that I was seeing on the YouTube was that C-SPAN, which is this amazing resource of video, you know, they have 3 television channels that they broadcast on my cable dial, and they were, I would only see, you know, 5 or 10 minutes of video on YouTube from them ever, and they're broadcasting 8 to 12 hours of live video a day, and it's all pretty much public domain. You'll see that it says C-SPAN copyright or whatever, but C-SPAN is really all of the hearings, the congressional hearings, all of the speeches on the floor of the Senate or the House of Representatives, any speeches by the presidents, those are all fair. Those are all fair use, and I've spoken extensively with the vice president of C-SPAN and the head of their legal counsel, because as I was being C-SPAN junkie, I was contacted by C-SPAN about 2 years into it. I had about 9,000 videos on the C-SPAN junkie page, and
Wow.
they said their vice president slash head of legal counsel contacted me and said that I was not allowed to use the name C-SPAN junkie because they own that name. They invented that name, and that they felt that they coined that name, and that they felt that they owned that name. It's not trademarked by them, but and they didn't own the domain cspanjunkie.com or cspanjunkie.org, both of which I own.
Huh.
And if anybody's interested in buying those, please let me know. And again, I was just doing this because I saw amazing work that I was enthralled to be watching all day, every day. That was, you know, little bits of history that other people really needed to be seeing. So I was putting up, like I do now, you know, C-SPAN hearings and little clips of speeches, and at the time when it was during George Bush, you know, there was actual anti-war movement, and I would put up clips of you know, there was big marches, and there was big you know, rallies that were like, don't go to war in Iraq, and I would put up all those speeches, and because I love that content. I love being able to share that with the world, and C-SPAN says, yeah, you can't use that name. And I said, well, really, I'm just this huge fan, and this is just a fan page, and they're like, you can't use that name. And I said, but you don't understand. People like Bernie Sanders and Congressman this and are contacting me and asking me if I can help them capture this clip or that clip, and they're like, oh, well, they should be contacting us. They were mad because I was getting more views on their videos than, and actually what they really got mad about was that I made one of my crass titles that was about Kellyanne Conway, calling her something probably not very nice, and she called her buddy at C-SPAN, and her buddy at C-SPAN got on my ass to say, hey, da-da-da-da-da. And I said, so I said, hey, I'm a fan, and I'm just making sure the world sees all your amazing work. And they're like, well, the Congress people should be talking to us to get those videos. And it's like, okay. And they're like, you can't use that name. I was like, okay, give me a month to like make sure that I transfer everything over to a new domain or whatever, And he said, what domain is that going to be? And I said, Mox News, because I'd come up with Mox News about a month earlier than that. And am I going on? And
you're doing great.
and then and in that month time, the first thing I did when I got off the phone with him was to call the EFF, which is the Electronic Freedom Foundation, who was supposed to like stick up for the little guy when somebody like a giant corporation like C-SPAN gets on their case and says, oh, you can't use that name on the internet. The EFF, the Electronic Freedom Foundation, is supposed to stand up and apply and offer pro bono legal assistance to people. So they were my first call when I got off the phone with him. And they said, oh, this is exactly the kind of thing that we do, and we will, but we're really super busy right now, so we don't have any free lawyers to just assign to you. So what we'll do is we'll go ahead and we have this board, there's a pool of lawyers, and we'll post that we need someone for this, and then we'll have probably a lawyer for you in the next week or so. And I said, and what do I tell C-SPAN? And they said, tell C-SPAN that you've contacted us and that we're getting a lawyer for you. And I got back to C-SPAN and I said, yeah, I'm going to need a little bit of time to be able to get my new website in place. So if you can give me like 30 days or so, to make sure that I get everything transferred over properly. And I said, that's fine, to let me keep using the name C-SPAN Junkie. And in that time, I was hoping that the EFF was going to get back to me with an attorney. And 10 days later, I called the EFF again, and I talked to this exact same person. I said, hey, this is Mike, C-SPAN Junkie, and you said that you were going to try and help me get a lawyer, and I haven't heard back from you guys. And they said, oh, we were going to get something for you. We were going to get you an attorney. And I said, yes, you told me to tell C-SPAN that you were going to find me an attorney in the next week or so. And they said, oh, and then they, again, didn't ever get me any legal representation. So I just moved on to being Mox News because I don't have the ability to fight these people.
Well, I was subscribed to you when you were C-SPAN Junkie.
Yeah, I never made any on-camera videos when I was C-SPAN Junkie.
No, I don't recall any, but that was one of my favorite channels, actually. That's so cool. I didn't know it was you.
It was a really good channel. Thank you very much.
I did not know that was you. And I really enjoyed a lot of your C-SPAN stuff that you've captured. And I like the longer clips, too. I don't know if they get as many views, but I like the longer ones.
Like I said,
you've got a bunch of them that are like maybe an hour or so.
Well,
I think they're great.
Well, like I said, the last month in October, the number 2 video was a 2-hour video about what actually happened at the Pentagon on 9/11. That was a 2-hour video, and then the number 1 video was a 3-hour video of the interview with the astrophysicist Neil. I can't think of his name right now, but those are huge videos, and people say, oh, I never even watched the long videos anymore. The thing is, I get it. You're busy. You don't have time. You can run those videos in the background. They're just interviews or house sessions. You can get the knowledge and not be focused on it. And at the same time, you don't have to watch them. But the thing is, the little videos, those are like these little gems, like, oh, look at this little gem. Oh, that is so good. That gives me this feeling inside when I watch that video. But the big videos are like all these little gems combined together to make a big, giant gem. And you can cut those up any ways you want. You don't have to watch the whole video. You can flip through it, no problem. Start here, jump ahead 20 minutes, jump ahead 20 minutes, jump ahead 20 minutes. There's nothing in that video for me,
Yeah, I like to put them on while I'm doing other stuff in the kitchen or whatever.
Yeah, I think that's how a lot of people watch them. I think that's how a lot of people watch them, honestly.
All right, love. Well, thanks for all your good work, and I'll let you go and let somebody else call. And you have a great night.
Okay, thanks so much for calling.
You're so welcome. Bye-bye, love.
Bye. That was cool. She's really nice, huh? I kind of went on. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to like go blah, 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 blah. I know I do that in all my videos. I know. I'm just trying to tell a story. I'm not trying to drag it out longer than it needs to be. But this shit with the EFF, the Electronic Freedom Foundation, and saying they were going to get me a lawyer and then never getting me a lawyer, you know, that's why I've come out. You've seen me come out a couple times and say, hey, I need some legal guidance here. Could someone please, like, you know, because that's what you guys that are attorneys are supposed to do. You're supposed to go, hey, there's a downtrodden guy who actually needs someone to be defending him against the juggernauts because they don't like what he has to say. And that's what the EFF is supposed to be about. And they were not there for me and all you people who contribute to them because they survive on contributions, and they totally were not there for Mock. So you should maybe consider taking next year's contribution to the EFF and making sure that Mox is here next year instead of the EFF, because they're going to do just fine. Count on it. Sometimes I'm on Reddit. I haven't been doing Reddit for a while. I used to do Reddit. And then, you know, when you lose pages like the C-SPAN junkie, I mean, so many videos have been taken down. It's been really like, just to get back in the groove of you know, posting. And people, you know, they accuse you of spamming if you go to post stuff on Reddit. Or if you're like me and you have if you're as active a poster as I am, prolific, I guess you should say, a poster as I am. People, if you try and like make sure everybody sees your videos by putting them everywhere you can, say, why are you spamming everybody? So whatever, it's kind of on you guys to be sharing the videos at this point because I'm busy looking at videos. I gotta find videos for you guys. Speaking of which, I was getting this Donald Trump here. Oh, gotta switch over to... Trump was just making a big speech. I gotta make sure I got that to record, to play for you guys after we're done here. So, and I want some equipment so that I can be broadcasting some of these speeches and stuff live. That's what I really want to be doing. Okay. Hey, you're going to have to turn your volume on the computer down. How are you? This is Mike.
Hey, it's Beer.
Who is it?
Beer.
Beer. What's up, Beer?
Hey, not much. Watching the show?
Have you guys had enough of me yet?
Not at all.
Hey. Well, that's good, I guess.
Hey, where's that cool vapor you were showing off? Still got that?
The what? Oh, which my oil rig or my
Yeah.
Which one? The glass one?
You just showed one off the other day.
Oh, the pen?
No, I don't know.
Oh, I got a pen the other day, you know. I don't know. The pen was a gift from the Yokan people. They wanted me to do it.
Yeah, that one. That was pretty nice.
Yeah. They were very happy with that review. The person that contacted me to do the review actually called me friend after in the email back to me to say thanks for doing the review. So they told me if they have anything new coming up that she'll let me know, and she'll be getting back to me for that.
Well, I better talk about politics so I don't piss off all your viewers.
You know, talking about marijuana in the police state is actually politics.
Yeah, I guess so.
So go ahead.
California, so it's kind of normal here. I mean, not really used to it.
It's still a police state, man, and not everybody has the freedom. So.
Yeah.
Do you feel like it's a police state?
I have never felt free in my life.
It's bad, huh?
I always questioned why I couldn't do certain things, certain substances.
It just seems like they just want so bad to get the young people like trapped in the police state, you know. That's why the marijuana is illegal, and they're in the schools now. The cops are all in the schools now. It's just so scary. I don't even know how people can stand having kids. Drive me insane.
Well, I think something's starting to happen. I forgot the word I was going to use, but things are starting to change. I think people are not smoking as much tobacco, and a lot of my friends have quit drinking as well.
That's really good to hear, because that is such a shitty drug, man.
Yeah.
I mean, it just nobody ever talks about the fact that it's a carcinogen. You hear all about red meat causes cancer, or this causes cancer, that causes cancer. Fucking alcohol causes cancer, people. So we're clear.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it's been a long time, dude, and I appreciate all your work.
Thanks. Have you donated?
Donated.
Have you donated to Mox News?
Have I donated?
Yeah.
15 BTC so far.
What's that?
15 Bitcoins.
Oh, awesome.
Or not 15
Oh,
Bitcoins,
thanks.
but
Oh, this beer?
$1.
Okay, beer. Thanks, beer. That's really nice of you, man. I really appreciate it.
Oh, it was a while ago I sent you the $5 worth, so that might be worth $100 by now if you still have it.
I don't still have it.
Okay, yeah. But yeah, I think it was about $1,000 when I sent that $5 to you.
Right on. So you must be doing pretty good.
Nah. I actually did really good off the Ethereum.
Oh, excellent. Wow, that's cool.
Yeah, I was buying one token each day, and it's just skyrocketed.
That's really cool, dude.
Yeah, I've been keeping it going.
Congratulations on that.
Still got to pay capital gains taxes on it, though.
Oh, well. Fucking government.
I never thought I'd say that again, or say that at all.
Well, but it's pretty cool, though.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm not sad about paying taxes for it.
All right, Beer. Well, thanks a bunch for your help, man. I really appreciate it.
Sorry, I'm not ready to speak, or I'm a little nervous.
Dude, it's all good. We're good. It sounded like someone else is trying to call, so I want to let them in.
All right, then.
All right, thanks.
Love ya.
Thanks, Beer. Hello? Hey, caller. This is Mox. How are you doing?
Moxie, you tell me how we're doing.
You're going to have to turn down the volume on your computer. You got that?
Yeah, sorry about that. I had you on speakerphone. How we doing?
I'm good. How about you, my brother?
Hell yeah.
Who is this?
This is Colby. I donate like $5 a month.
Colby, you rock, man. That's so cool. Thank you so much. I see your name. I see your name in there all the time, and I have one of the checkout girls where I go grocery shopping is named Colby, and I always think, I wonder if that's her, but it's not her. I know it's not her. So thank you very much, Colby.
I'm not her.
No, you're not.
But it's funny because you're using the call-in line 805. That's my old area code.
That's my old area code too. In fact, if you're from the 805, have you seen the banner that's at the top of my Mox News YouTube page?
I haven't seen that. What's it say?
Well, if you look at it, it's an image. That's where I went to high school, and that's actually, if you look at it, it's an actual image of a place. It's right on the bay. It's right on the pier on Morro Bay. I went to Morro Bay High School.
Awesome.
Where did you?
Yeah, I'm from OI.
From L.A.
OI.
I didn't make that out.
OJAI, Ventura County.
Oh, okay. And that's 805, huh?
That is the 805.
It went to, have you ever been to Morro Bay?
I have, yeah, once. It was really nice.
it was a really good place to grow up.
Word.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, I just thought I'd holler, say what's up, and keep doing good work.
Have you Oh, you said you donated 50. You donate every week, every month. That is super generous of you. I really appreciate it, Kobe, and I appreciate you calling. What do you think of this? Have you been watching the call-in show for a minute, or you just get here?
Just a minute. I just got here.
Okay. Well, you think it's a good idea to connect with people in this way?
For sure. I think every way, right? Like, I don't know what else you're on. I've seen you on Twitter.
Yeah.
I've toned down Twitter myself, but it's a great water cooler of society.
Yeah. I think you're probably right about that.
Social media has like its own little soul, like to reach people.
It's the one thing about the that I really do on the internet is the YouTube. You know, I don't like the Facebook so much because I don't like the way people do it. They just let people into their lives so much, you know.
I feel you. I just got on Facebook like 5 days ago after leaving it for years, and I just got back on there just because you can't deny that it is a good way to reach people, even though it might be a little.
There's a Mox News. There's a Mox News Facebook page. It's just I'm not very active there because this thing where people just are so, you know, just their whole lives right there for everybody to see is just so weird for me. I just.
Yeah, I totally feel you on that, but at the same time, I don't think you have to necessarily be like that. Like, I just signed up, and I don't necessarily have to post, you know, my whole life or what I just ate for dinner, which was actually 5 cheese ravioli, if you're interested.
And this is what the poop looked like in the morning.
That's for Instagram, actually. At Real Colby, if you wanna get at me on Instagram.
Right on. Okay.
Well, thanks, my friend. Appreciate it.
Okay, Kobe, I appreciate it too. Thank you very much. He was super nice. He's been putting something in my bowl for months and months. He's a very nice guy. I'm glad that we got a chance to say hi, Kobe. Let's see, and this is the first Raleigh. This is the first Raleigh. All right. Awesome. What's happening here? What is it that's going on this page? There's 29 people watching. That's the most people watching so far. I think. You guys see more than 29 yet? 28. We're losing them. You guys. I'm going to get Mox Nice Crisco. What is it? Oh man, Craig, you already give so much. I need food. I'm always hungry. That's the one thing about using marijuana as a medicine is I haven't ever found any that doesn't make me like feel like I need to go eat. I need to go eat something. You guys good? It's been a while, man. You good? Think so? Jay? Yeah, hey guys, we're doing donations, so it's the end of the year pledge drive, so if you haven't given yet, I'm asking everybody who's a Mox News subscriber, kick down $5. I'd be super generous of you. I really appreciate it, and I wouldn't ask if I didn't need it in order for Mox News to move strongly into 2018 and beyond. All right? So, I don't have any Bitcoin. Oh, I don't know. You think I should? You think I should? Should I hold on to it? I think I'll hold on to it while Trump's in North Korea or South Korea, at least. While Trump's in Asia, I probably won't cash in the Bitcoin. Pat, thank you. Appreciate it. Very nice. Super nice. You're the man. Couldn't ask for more. And I don't want anybody you know, to like breaking their piggy bank so they can give me $5. And that's the reason I'm only asking for $5 is because I don't want you to break your piggy bank. Just, you know, I just want to know that you guys want me to be here, and I will always be here. That's all. And plus, I need the help, otherwise I wouldn't ask for it. What movie is that, Ann? Oh, you want me to smoke another bowl? All right, Jay. Just for you, Jay. After this call, Jay. Hey, caller, this is Mox News. You're going to have to put their computer volume on mute. How are you?
Hello, Michael. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Who's this?
Oh, wonderful. This is Chicken Bone Gino. I'm the guy who made your little donation Christmas video last year.
Chicken Bone. You the man, dude. That was so cool.
It was fun. I was a monthly subscriber for a little over a year, and then I ran into some problems and hard times like so many of us, you know. So now I just donate like once every other month or so, whenever I can. On a long time, we go back from C-SPAN junkie, man.
It's really nice of you. Thank you very much for all your help. I super appreciate it, and I did love that video. It made me laugh my ass off.
It was hilarious as fuck. I enjoyed it. I just wanted to do something because I didn't have any money. I don't have internet at home. I don't have cable TV or landline. I've only got my phone. I've wasted so much data tonight, but it's worth it because I want to tell your listeners that look, I'm broke, but you can give up $5. I donated last night with the other video that you did, and what Michael does is so valuable. He whittles down, like he says, he creates these little gems. And we don't know each other. I live in West Virginia. I'm an Appalachian American. I'm a musician. I don't make much money. But he will save you so much time. And, of course, it's liberal. It's leaning left, but not so far left that your brain falls out your fucking ear.
It's libertarian liberal.
Exactly. And not everybody agrees on everything, not just, you know, even amongst libertarians or amongst anybody with, you know, a labeled ideology, which I'm not in favor of too much anymore. I want to tell you something. What years before anybody knew who Bernie Sanders was, Mike posted a video called Bernie Sanders' Amazing Speech. And I downloaded. Well, I didn't download. I watched it, but I mirrored it to my website or my YouTube panel, and I was called Internet Spanker back then. And it was just a channel for me and my friends. I wasn't doing anything. In fact, it didn't last long. But then I noticed it got thousands and thousands of hits. It got up to 400,000 something hits, and I got a message from Bernie Sanders' office saying, "Dear Internet Spanker, congratulations on the success of your video. Would you please put a link to our office?" And I said, "Sure." And I didn't do anything. It was Mox News there the whole time. It got up to 886,000 hits. It was like number 1 for the week and number 3 for the month. This is years before anybody even knew who Bernie Sanders was. And I flipped out. I freaked out. I didn't want the notoriety, so I just took down the whole fucking channel and shit. But dude, listen, people, pull out a $5. Go ahead, donate right now. Like I said, we don't know each other. This is the first time we've talked. And Mike, here's my question to you. Like you said, there's so much going on. All this unresolved news. We're not going to hear anything much more about Mandalay Bay or this shooting in Texas. Everything's happening so much, and like you said, it's coming to a boiling point that, you know, I'm worried about censorship coming down, and these way leaning left people that seem to control the internet servers. I'm worried that they're going to be clamping down. And what if you have any plans, you know, for like maybe an alternate site out there, because I know you don't monetize your videos. It's just donation only.
I you know what? I've looked and looked for an alternate site, and there's just, I don't see a replacement for YouTube. And if I could find some kind of, but then again, you still have to face this this censorship of the people who own the servers, like you're saying. And that's what I'm saying. This is one of the points that I was making about if all of the subscribers of Mox News was to donate $5, just each person was to donate $5, that would give me the opportunity to look at my own servers and decide if that was actually something that I could make happen. Now, I'm not a technically savvy person. I'm very limited, and so that controls a lot of what I do. But you know, that would be the greatest thing of all. So if I could just find a spot where I could just go, okay, I can put all these videos, all 60,000 plus videos that I've done, that I've already edited, not all the ones that I've captured, just the ones that I've edited and uploaded already. If I could just re-upload them to a spot where I know they would be safe, you know, and all that work wouldn't just disappear in the blink of an eye, that would be really, really fucking cool, man.
Exactly, but that, you know, hosting your own servers and stuff, and able to do that, it's big money. I mean, big freaking money.
It can go that way.
I'll get off. I'll let somebody else call in. But listen, I think I speak for everybody in the chat room that I think maybe a weekly, This Week in Mox type show, a 2-hour show that's kind of semi-scripted, so we can get through a bunch of topics, because people are interested.
Yeah,
they do identify with, and they do want to hear your take on things.
And they have thoughts on Mandalay Bay and Texas and everything else, you know, and they'd like to be able to share and communicate those thoughts with people. And I don't know. This is just a much more interactive kind of way, it seems like, you know.
I don't know how you keep your head from exploding, but I have seen the way you have replied to trolls and the nasty fucking comments that they've left down online, and you would do it with such grace and intellect that it's almost like it's almost embarrassing how wonderful you respond to an asshole. It's been inspirational for me, and I'm an older dude, so. Listen, dude, so much to say. Keep it up, and really, This Week in Mox 2-hour show, I think we're all down with that. What do you say, chat room? I can't see anything on the chat room because I'm on the phone right now. So anyway, I'm going to get off. I'm going to join the show, and we love you so much, and keep doing what you're doing.
Thank you for your support, all your kind words, and thank you for all your help.
No problem. See you, brother.
You guys are so nice. Everybody's like, my roommates are like, boy, I hope you don't get a bunch of trolls calling. You guys are so nice. It's like, and you know, you talk about, and he was talking about the trolls and stuff, and the thing about the trolls is that I always look at it like, you know, I could delete those people. People are talking about having moderators and getting in, you know, banning people and blocking people. And I could block those people and I could delete their comments. But the thing about it to me is, as far as free speech goes, is that there's you can say whatever it is you want to say. You have that right. But know that that's always going to be attached to you. You know, I mean, I say some pretty fucking off-the-cuff things. You guys know this. If you've been paying attention, I say some stuff. Whew, it's like, holy shit, did he just say that? And the reason is because it needs to be said. But the thing with the trolls is when they're being trolls, if I was to delete them being a troll, delete their comment, delete them saying the most asinine shit, then it would be like I was covering up their shame. So it'd be like I was like, oh yeah, that you really didn't mean that. I'm gonna make it so people can't see that and know what a horrible person you are. Because I think it's important to know who the trolls are. I think it's important to know who the racists are. I think that's incredibly valuable information. We've been over this before. You people that are trying to say, oh, we can't have that language, we have to censor that language out, that language needs to be not acceptable, all you're doing is pushing it underground, and then we don't know who those people are. And that's the fact. And really, as far as the language things go, and the First Amendment and rights, free speech rights, these people that are, expressing the little Hitler wannabes or whatever, those people are on the front lines of free speech, of censorship. Those people are the ones you don't have to give them money. You have to say they have the right to be there because they're on the front line, and we know that when they come to start censoring us, those are the ones that are going to get censored first. Oh, we all agree this form of speech can't. We can all agree that little Hitlers can't be allowed, right? You understand what I'm saying? Those are the people that are that are why the First Amendment is there. Not to protect speech that we all agree should be acceptable. That speech doesn't need to be protected. The little Hitlers, they're on the front lines saying whatever it is that they say. And as long as they're up there, then we know that we still have our freedom of speech. Because once it's taken, yours is next. And if you can't see that, you don't understand the police state that we live in. That's the facts. You guys want to keep doing this, or we had enough? Because I mean, I'm good. I can keep going. All right, smoke a bowl. Okay, Jay, I got a bowl for you here. Give me a sec. Let me heat it up. Okay. Heating the bowl now. Heating the bowl for Jay. Because Jay's the man. Jay's the top donor. The top donor in the year-end pledge drive so far. Jay, you are so the man, Jay. Top donor at $40. Come on, I got $40 for the top donor so far. Can we hear $50? Anybody got $50? How about $45 right here? $45, $46. What do we got here? We got 45, we got 40, we got 40, 40, 40. Anybody got 45? Do I hear 45? Going once, going twice. Jay, you are the top donor for the hey, I'm trying to take a fucking bong hit. Hey, you have to turn the volume down on your computer so we don't get feedback. This is Mox News. How you doing? What's on your mind? Hello? Are you there? Oh, I can't hear you. Hold on. Go again. Hello?
What's happening?
Who this?
What's poppin', man? We trying to get lit. You heard me?
Who is this?
You heard me? We trying to get lit, man. We smoking a ball too, man. I want to congratulate you, brother. You heard me? Bless you, heard me? Keep on it, man.
All right. So, are you guys still here? Look, there's 31 people here now. I mean, that's the most people that's been here the whole time. Should we quit? Are we done? You guys want more calling? That last caller was not very good. That was my bad, I think. I was in the middle trying to take a puff for Jay. Did you see that, Jay? Did you get it? Ha! Okay. I did it, Jay. Jay, you're the man, Jay. You guys are just trying to get me high. You're trying to get me loaded. I know how you guys' minds work. Get me loaded, then you get me taking my clothes off. Then you make videos of me and you blackmail me. I know what you're thinking. I know what your game is. You guys done? 29 callers. 29 viewers. It was 31 a minute ago. He won't answer. Answer what? What won't I answer? Marine, you have a question? What is the question? What is the question, Marine? Ask again. I'm sorry, I didn't see it. There's a lot of stuff going on here. What questions, Marine? When have you written me and I didn't write you back? What do you mean, how brave am I? I was naked on the front page of the Seattle Times. How brave are you when it comes to free speech? Let's see. I was naked on the front page of the Seattle Times in 2000. No, it was 1997. Just like this. Here I am, world. What do you, of course, do you think that the videos that I upload about Second Amendment don't offend people? Do you think when I say shit like fuck God, that doesn't offend people? How free is your speech? Can you say that? When I say fuck patriotism, you think that doesn't offend people? I don't know what that is. What is a Murdoch video? I don't know what that is. Marine, I don't know what that is. What is it? A Murdoch video? Okay, we're down to 26. Name them. Oh, okay. You don't think I call out people that bomb fucking hospitals? Is that right? You think I don't name them? No problem, man. My pleasure. Thanks for calling in. You're the greatest, baby. Thanks, Pat. I know. I'm annoying. I agree. $1962. Mitchell, I'm not sure. Are you talking to me? What is it that you want me to talk about? I'm not sure. Them. Why is it important for me to upload that video? To you, for me to upload that video? Those videos. Murdoch. It's a long day, Pat. Nighty night, Jackie. Jake, you're the man. Jackie, cat. I'm not sure what you're asking for, Maureen. I don't understand why this is important to you, Maureen. I mean, you're saying anyone can upload these videos. Why is it you want me to upload them? Do you think I honestly don't test free speech? I call out the most powerful people in the fucking world. Hey, make sure your volume's turned off on your computer. This is Mike. Who is this?
Hey, Mike, it's Jake again.
Hey, Jake.
I was talking to Ann in the room, and she seems to be under the impression that Donald Trump, which I'm a Trump supporter. I'm a Ron Paul libertarian.
I hear you, Jake.
She seems to be under the impression, and you can give me your opinion on this too, that Trump did not meet his what's the word I want to use here? That he didn't fulfill, his obligations as president to the people in Puerto Rico after the hurricane hit. And I didn't understand what was going on at the time, but it turns out, I didn't know, because all over the MSM, the dinosaur media, they were saying that nothing was being done. They were attacking. Well, as it turns out, there was all kinds of ships, sent with all kinds of raw materials, and they were all sitting in the ports. Those damn truck drivers decided to go on strike at the time over wages, and nothing was being transported in. They were lying about fuel not being available. So the military actually went in and did some recon to find out what the hell was the problem. And that damn mayor of that town, she got up in front of the cameras there, and with all this water, all these materials behind her, saying there's nothing being done. Blame Trump. So eventually, it caught up with her because people started pointing this out. So
okay, this is Jake, right? This is Jake.
What's that?
This is Jake.
This is Jake, your big donor.
Okay. Okay, Jake. Let me ask you a question. What is it that you like about Trump?
I'll tell you what. I didn't watch The Apprentice back in the day.
Didn't watch what?
I didn't watch The Apprentice. I didn't know what to expect of Trump. I thought he was going to be a rube.
I never watched The Apprentice either, but I would see Trump regularly on different news programs. Have you ever seen him on other news shows before? Yeah.
Well, I really just thought he was just a sleazeball.
Yeah.
You know, before, but then I saw a lot in that man that was. Let me give you two examples here. When Ben Carson missed his cue walking out on that stage, and then Trump was called out, Trump stood there behind Ben Carson. And I'll tell you what, man, it takes a certain kind of person to do something like that. I was very impressed with you know, his soft-heartedness. I mean, he's a man. I would say he's a blue-collar billionaire. That's what I really think. And when he basically verbally body slammed Jeb Bush for what the Bush dynasty had been doing for 20 somewhat years, really way longer than that. Bush Senior, you know, the entire Bush dynasty, the evil. When he called them out and he told Jeb Bush, you know what, you're at 3%. Pretty soon you're going to be off the stage. You know, and also, you know, the one-liner of...
No, he was so right. I love the way that he destroyed Jeb Bush. I mean, no one else in the field would have had the balls to say anything like that in order to destroy Jeb Bush. And I wish that Bernie Sanders had much bigger balls, because he could have easily just the same have destroyed Hillary Clinton, and he chose not to.
Yeah, well, he decided to take the money. Look, I'm not down with the, you know, you got a mixed audience here, you know.
It's the best. That's the way it needs to be, man.
Yeah, I'm all for that. I'm all for dialogue. But Bernie Sanders, you know, the socialism, the communism.
It's not that. It's not that. It's that Hillary is unelectable. It's that Hillary is one of the most despised characters in American history, political American history, and yet the Democrats insisted on putting her there when, you know, we could have actually had a candidate, and it wouldn't have been a completely different thing, and we would have had, you know.
I believe if Bernie Sanders was the Democratic nominee, he probably would have won, and that scares me.
Because there's not much difference between Hillary and Trump, the way I see it, honestly. They're just both... I mean, you see him as some kind of blue-collar hero guy, but I see him as an elitist cunt, you know, and that's the way that he has been. Whenever he comes on TV, I've never seen him... He wants to act like it when he's out amongst the people, that he's cares about them or that he's one of them, but I just don't get any kind of feeling like that. Whenever he's on camera, and I believe that he's stuck in this mode where he's playing a television character, and that he can't get out of it because that's who he was for the last 20 years before he became this. And now he's stuck in this, you know, bigger than life. I gotta be like waving my arms and, you know, making, you know, all these funny faces, and because that's what the people want. You know, that keeps their attention. That's how show business works. Don't you know nothing?
Let's say, well, I don't know if I can, you know, jump on board with that.
No, I understand. I understand. I'm just trying to let you know that that's what I see is that, and I don't think he even recognizes that he's stuck in this television character and that he can't snap out of it, because that's what he's known all this time.
I think he is a man that has enjoyed every single privilege there is to have in life. I mean, the billions of dollars, the women, the beautiful family he has. You know what? I don't really see that as a bad thing, because I think he knows He knows he never flaunts it. I mean, he does, but probably subconsciously. But
it's not subconsciously, dude. He's the greatest of everything, always, every time. And you know this, right?
I think he understands the common man. I think he wants to uplift the common man. I see a humble man with a humble heart.
You know, and so did fucking Bill Clinton. You get that, right?
I'm sorry, say that again. I missed that.
So did Bill Clinton. Bill Clinton was a man of the people. He looked into the camera and he told us all, "I love you."
I think that I'll tell you what, Bill Clinton was a great liar and great deceiver. I was all on board with Bill Clinton. I was 18. It was the best times of my life. The economy was great. Bill Clinton was lucky. You know, we had the internet bubble. We had the .com.
I don't remember the internet during the Bill Clinton years. Do you?
Everything was, yeah, I remember a lot during the Bill Clinton years. It was the best times of my life. I always had a hot girl by my side. You know,
right on.
I had a little bit of money in my pocket. I didn't have.
I guess you're right. At the end of the Bill Clinton years, I do remember a lot of internet.
Yeah, because of the .com, innovations, coming on at the time, where everybody's getting a computer, the economy was doing really well.
Yeah.
And Bill Clinton got lucky, but turns out, the guy was. The Monica Lewinsky scandal was the least of the sins that Bill Clinton was committing.
Those are horrible, horrible people. They're horrible people, dude. The Clintons are horrible people.
They are, and they've been doing it. You look at what happened with Haiti, and stealing all that money. I remember them being up on stage.
Yeah, that's just so sick. I don't know how people can be that corrupt, man.
Well, I do.
Yeah.
I do. They want everything. They think they deserve everything, and they never got out of that mentality. I do not see that with Donald Trump. He is a self-made man. True, he had $1 million left to him by his father, but he has turned that $1 million into billions of dollars. And I don't think he ever lost the part of him that was in touch with the average Joe. I mean, you look at what he has done. Look who's fighting him. You got both the Republicans and the Democrats, tooth and nail, going after him, throwing all kinds of crap on the wall to see what will stick. And you know what? Nothing has stuck because there's nothing there. He's not compromisable. They can't buy him off. This is the biggest threat to the crime syndicate that we call the Republicans and Democrats that there has ever been.
See, listen, let me say something about what you just said. You said that he's not compromisable, and yet you don't know that he hasn't already been compromised. And
by who?
Well, by I would say the military-industrial complex, because it was really anti-war during the, and now he wants to just now he sends more troops to Afghanistan after he said Afghanistan is a complete waste of time and we need to get out Afghanistan. He sends more troops to Afghanistan. So that's number one that he's been compromised by. And I don't remember him being, like I said, I remember him back in the day being on the news and stuff, but I don't remember him being so overly pro-Israel back in the day either, But,
but you look at everything that was
here's the deal with Donald Trump is he hasn't started a war yet. And so far, can't say that about the last president. And he doesn't seem to be drone striking all over the place. I'm not sure. Do you know if he's drone striking a whole bunch or not?
No, not that I'm aware of. This thing that happened over in Syria had me extremely worried.
The Tomahawks thing?
I'm talking about the bombing of the Air Force Base.
Yeah.
And then him dropping that Moab. Yeah. Over in Afghanistan. I think he was trying to scare the hell out of out of Kim Jong Un.
Yeah.
And the problem is now is that Kim Jong Un does not seem to have got the message, and I think there was a loss in direction after that. I think his advisors, whoever advised him to do this, that this might work, it has really backfired. And I wake up every day, where I go and check my phone, check the news, and I get those feelings in my stomach. I get alerts that come from news feeds, alternative news feeds, real news, not BS, MSM. I get butterflies in my stomach every day, before I go check the news or something pops up on my phone, thinking, something's going down over there, because it's not just going to be with North Korea. China and Russia are not just going to stand on the sidelines unless some kind of deal that can be made. Something happened over there. He said, Trump said that we're going to get some kind of news tomorrow, and it's going to be good news. So I'm hoping it's something along the lines of a deal has been reached. I say that, with 4 fingers up here in quotation, a deal has been reached. Whatever that deal is, as long as it doesn't take us to a global thermonuclear war, I think I'm going to be okay with it. You know what I'm saying?
And this is the thing too for me about Trump, is that I wasn't thinking a whole lot about nuclear war until he came into office, and then all of a sudden it's like North Korea has the ability to nuke us, and Donald Trump wants to spend billions of dollars restoring our nuclear arsenal.
Mike, you look at who gave them this. These capabilities. Bill Clinton. Bill Clinton sold us out to the Chinese too. For his second term funding, he took over $200,000, $300,000 from the Chi-Coms, and he gave them supercomputer technology. The supercomputer technology also included navigation for missile systems. He gave that to them. That's why the Chinese have it, and that's why it's been proliferated to North Korea. I don't think. You remember, back 4 or 5 months ago, this Kim Jong Un guy was launching Scud-style missiles. All of a sudden, he's got platforms with global ICBMs on it. No, I think not. I think all of this was rolled over from China. I think there's Chinamen at all these ICBM platform stations.
Yeah.
China it doesn't make any sense.
No, what you're saying makes a lot of sense.
That's the only thing that does make sense.
The technology has to come from somewhere.
Yeah, I think they're manufactured by China. These platforms are actually a Ukrainian design. But anyway, back to my original point. Me and Ann were, talking on, chatting on the chat room, and Donald Trump sent in all kinds of materials. It wasn't being moved out of the ports over there in Puerto Rico because this Democrat mayor and the truck driver unions. Not only that, they couldn't reach a lot of people at the time. We're not hearing much about it in the news right now because I guess it's been resolved. But this mayor, this woman mayor, I think you know who I'm talking about, right?
Yeah. I remember she was in the news a lot right after the hurricane.
Yeah, man, she got egg all over her face because they caught her doing what she was doing, holding back this stuff and getting on the side of these unions, and all this stuff wasn't leaving the port. So they started making a call to people on the mainland, in Florida and all over the United States to go to Puerto Rico and help out with this, clearing all this stuff out of the port. So anyway, Ann, if you're still in the room, I'd really like to hear you call in, and I'd really like to hear, what information information, what sources you got this information from, because I think this is just more fake news. You know, Trump was really involved in helping those people out, and he even offered to forgive their debt. I mean, they're what? Isn't it something like $70 billion? They're running out of money over there.
Yeah, I thought that was very interesting, but that didn't seem to go very far.
Yeah, what's that?
The idea of giving, forgiving their debt.
I heard it a couple of times, but it's been out of the limelight with everything else that's been going on. The Uranium One scandal, started to pick up traction, which was really exposed by the Bundys. I don't know if you remember it, but the Bundy standoff, all this stuff started coming out. Harry Reid, they've been trying to get a hold of that Bundy Ranch land so they could refine uranium, or not refine uranium, but mine uranium.
Yeah.
And I mean, the whole deal of, look, these people, I think we're going to see a lot of arrests. I think we're going to see a lot of stuff going down in these next few weeks. That's why Hillary Clinton got real quiet all of a sudden, because she broke her foot. I'm throwing those quotations up right now.
I know.
I don't even know if I buy the story. She broke her foot. She wanted to disappear.
I don't know how anyone can. How can anyone believe anything that comes out of that woman's mouth? It's because I mean, if you've been around pathological liars, they don't know the truth. They don't know the truth. They don't know the difference between when they're lying and when they're telling the truth. Have you ever hung out with strippers? I used to hang out with strippers a lot. A lot of times they just don't know the difference, man.
Yeah, well, I think Trump wants to do what's right for the country. I think Trump wants to be a good president, and a lot of the stuff he has had to do so far, he has had to do with what is that? What is that power that the president has? Words slip my mind right now.
Stoner.
What is it?
Stoner.
No. I don't smoke. I operate heavy machinery. I would love to smoke, man.
I hear you.
Watching you smoke.
I hear you. I smoked. I smoked and smoked. I smoked enough. I smoked much more than I usually smoke in a 2-hour period.
Every time I go to Texas, all my high school buddies,
Yeah.
I work in Oklahoma, but I go to Texas. My high school buddies, a lot of them still smoke, man. And I like them smoking around me because I can smell a little. I can watch them smoke and watch those eyes start to bulge. I miss that, man. Whenever my career goes sideways for whatever reason, I get some time,
If you ever get a month off and you're on your tour passing through Seattle, let me know, man.
Yeah, hey.
I'll show you how to do it right.
I'll program your number in my phone. You ever go to Denver?
Nuh-uh. I don't travel.
Yeah, if I ever change careers, man, I think I'm going to look into staying in Denver for a while and maybe find something that, like I said, I operate heavy machinery. I would love to smoke again, but this job just doesn't allow it. But
is it it's not legal in Oklahoma, is it?
No, it's not.
They have medical?
Idiot. No, they don't even have medical.
Wow.
I called you asking about my landlord's wife.
Yeah.
Not landlord's wife, the guy I rent a lot from here.
They got to pass laws about the medical, man. They got to make it at the very least. But they pass such stupid laws, I mean, the New Jersey law was just horrific.
Yeah, and back on Sessions, this is not what we wanted. I voted. I'm a Texas. I'm a Texan. I voted for Sessions, and he was a good man. He was doing a lot of good things. I didn't like, that he was anti-marijuana back then too. But I figured eventually he'd come around because it's coming legal whether they like it or not. They better get on the people's side. Congress.
It's going to be really hard to stop at this point. if they start seizing a bunch of people's bank accounts and locking up a couple of, like, you know, big operators, it could get ugly. But
well, if Obama was still in the White House, you know, that would fly a little bit more, but they would be able to, you know, start going after, and of course Obama's going to pretend, as he always did, that he can't hear anybody, that he doesn't see what's really going on and what the people really want. He'll pretend that his base wants this, and that's how it is. You know, which is for the banksters. Obama really screwed this country up for the past 8 years. And
it would have been so easy for him to do something that was more about the people, and it just seemed like he was basically on some kind of, you know, glamour tour. Like, yeah, I'm the president. Let's go on tour.
Oh, yeah.
Look, I'm here, everybody. I'm the president.
he was anointed, you know.
Weird.
Yeah, I just don't see how anybody could still like the man. I mean,
he had so much. It was like, you know how they say, like, when people are elected, they go, "Oh, I came into office with a mandate." He came into office with like a serious mandate. Like, the people stood up and said, "We want this guy," and it's because he promised to be different from the other guys. He said, "I'm not." He said, "Look at those guys. I don't look like those guys. I'm not like those guys." And then he turned out to be exactly like those guys. You know,
much worse.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you this: he was the most powerful president this country has ever seen to date, because of his skin color, which he used. But you look at, you know, all the suffering of the middle class, you know, the loss of jobs, you know, coal mining stops. Well, not that I'm for coal mining. Look, I work in the energy industry. I'm not going to say what I do, you know, because you're going to post this video. I don't want to reveal, you know.
It's all good, bro. I'm not trying to. Nobody's trying to hound you for any information.
Well, libertarian-minded.
I was worried when you were talking about your neighbors.
I'm sorry, I missed that.
I was worried when you were talking about your neighbors. I'm not trying to hound you for information.
Oh, no. I'm just saying, you know, this is going to be published. So the less I reveal to myself to the internet will, you know, the better. I don't even do Facebook. But I'm for free energy. You know, they have...
I'm going to talk about that in the future. I think that's part of you know, this is where we should be. We should all, there's so much energy that's available to us that we're not tapping into. It would be, and it's solely because the fossil fuel industry owns our government.
Yeah, not just the nuclear industry too.
Yeah, and I think they're connected though. I mean, aren't they pretty much one and the same?
Every damn, well, yeah, it's a monopoly.
Yeah.
Both of them are monopoly. And the thing is, they're both obsolete technologies. You know, Stanley Meyer proved this to us back in, the 80s?
Yeah.
The military was, you guys in the audience, you know, go look up Stanley Meyer and what he invented. He invented a car that could drive running on water, you know, using electrolysis, splitting hydrogen and oxygen, running, combusting hydrogen. 30 gallons could take him all the way from Los Angeles to New York. 30 gallons of water.
Amazing.
Of course they can. This would free the people. This would really free the people.
It's not just that either. I mean, there's all this electrical energy that's like just in the space around us that can be easily harvested too.
Oh, yeah. There's the magnetics. I've done a lot of research. I've actually, you know, these patents are all over the internet. You can still download them, unless they've, you know, our loving government has pulled them.
Yeah.
These patents are still out there, but these guys can't get any investments because, you could plug a 20, 30-pound device, you know, a square box that this guy in England created, or the United Kingdom. I'm not sure where. I think he's in England, but also these guys over in Australia.
Yeah.
These guys in Switzerland. they created a similar device. It somehow it works off of I want to say static, but
I remember him doing a story about it on 60 Minutes.
Yeah, you see these things all over the place, and they always disappear.
Yeah.
You know, it was always proven to be a scam or, you know, some kind of fraud, you know, and somehow they all get charges pressed against them. Hey, Stanley Meyer, you know, he was murdered. You know, his dying words were, they poisoned me.
Yeah.
They poisoned me. You know, he was at what was that restaurant, Cracker Barrel?
Yeah.
Eating some breakfast with some guys from the Pentagon, I believe. And yeah, his brother was the last person to see him. He grabbed his throat. Those were his last words. They poisoned me.
It's amazing what the elites are able to get away with. You know, I mean, you look at these shootings and you just have to wonder, you know, what in the hell? I mean, how can these people not be exposed? You know.
Yeah. And even to talk about the shootings, like I said earlier, I hate, you know, I got so many phone calls from my buddies, you know, coworkers, etc., that I look exactly like that damn guy that did that shooting down in Texas, which scares me. I'm wearing a lot of hats right now.
Have you ever seen the movie Meaning of Life? Monty Python, Meaning of Life.
Yeah, it's been a long time, but yeah, that's a classic, man.
There's this, they keep waiting, like the fish keep waiting. Oh, did he say something about the meaning of life? Did he say something? Yeah, you know, they're waiting for someone to say something that actually matters. And there's this part at the end of the movie, kind of close to the end of the movie, where they say they're having this business meeting and they're discussing what the meaning of life is. And the guy says that there's two theories, and number one is that people aren't wearing enough hats. So people aren't wearing enough hats.
Yeah, well, people ain't using enough of their brain these days. I guess that would be kind of
no. Well, see, the second theory is that the soul is something that's developed on Earth. Once you get here, you don't actually have it when you begin, but you have everything it takes to develop a soul, and that through a series of trials and tribulations that the soul is formed and created, and then moves on to evolve into, you know, more of a sentient being, empathetic type sentient being. But because we are so distracted by everything in modern day life, that the soul isn't actually allowed to develop in that way. It's because our brains are so short term that we get distracted, and then we completely forget what was just happening. So, and they do that, and they say almost that exact thing in the Monty Python movie, The Meaning of Life. And then he goes, and what was that thing you said about hats? And then they move on to other stuff, and you almost completely forget that they talked about the development of the soul and how people aren't born with them in the movie and stuff. It's like you think it's just a completely meaningless movie, but it's actually pretty darn deep.
Yeah, this article that you're referring to, or it's a video, or maybe I saw whatever it was.
That's The Meaning of Life. Yeah. Monty Python, The Meaning of Life.
No, but somebody wrote an article or actually made a video about something similar. You know, your soul is not completely in your body. It totally makes sense. I mean, you're dumb as a kid. You know, you don't have knowledge. You know, it's not passed on from parents. You know, we're not we're human. You know, you learn from experience. So yeah, eventually, you know, you learn about good and bad, and you grow older, and you're able to make decisions on your own. And, you know, as a child, you're innocent, so you're able to decide. You know, another word for it would be, I guess, free will. But yeah, I saw an article or a video on something.
No, it's just I brought it up because you were talking about having to wear a hat, and I went on to people aren't wearing enough hats. And that people are such short term that this thing happened where this incredible description of what actually the meaning of life is the creation and the formation of a soul into a sentient being. and it's in this movie, and it's actually described to you, and it happens in just a short amount of time, and all these other things all of a sudden happen, and you completely forget that they talked about this. I'm telling you, it's and that's the world we live in. People aren't wearing enough hats. Are you listening to me?
I'm gonna have to watch the movie again. I actually got it in my DVD collection. I just, man,
it's towards the end. That part of the movie is towards the end of the movie, where they're having like a business meeting.
Yeah, man, it's probably been over 15 years since I've seen that movie, but
it's a great flick. There's a couple of really good songs in the movie too.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to watch it again when I get some free time. I'm actually on vacation. I'm supposed to be on vacation right now. I got to drive to Austin, Texas, which worries me because that is apparently on the targeting list of this asshole over in North Korea. He's able to penetrate our defenses.
Are you actually afraid of what they could do? What the North Koreans could do?
I'm afraid of what China can do. These going back to these ICBMs, I've read some stuff that they've actually got steer capability in MIRV warheads. Again, I don't think this is North Korean technology. I think it's all a ruse. North Korean claims it's all their technology. You know, they really haven't given us any information. I think all those platforms and ICBMs were rolled over from China. I think it's all Chinese.
I'm just saying, I don't think, look, you know, this thing we were talking about being the big brain tippy top of the food chain, you know what I mean? You're not supposed to walk around in fear. This is just propaganda. And this is the thing, okay, is that I grew up with this shit, this duck and cover shit. Are you that old? Did you experience that shit where we're all going to be vaporized in 45 minutes?
I remember, I watched,
I grew up with this, okay, and it's just a load of bullshit that the military-industrial complex uses to sell weapons. Did you hear Trump's speech yesterday with the Prime Minister of Japan, where he said, "Oh, they're going to buy a bunch of weapons, so they don't have to worry about the threat anymore." It's like Kim Jong-un and Trump are working together to sell weapons for the American military-industrial complex.
I think it's a very complex situation, but Abe.
And as long as they're successful, as long as they can sell a bunch of weapons, then there's no real reason for, you know, it to escalate. But what happens is as soon as they start to take money out of the Pentagon, out of defense anywhere, and people and the big old defense departments, then all of a sudden there's something happens, you know, there's 9/11. You know, because they started to close bases in the military, and then all of a sudden there's a 9/11, and we can't take any money out of the defense budget, and the police need to have their budget tripled, and you know what I mean? It just benefits those people way too much.
Well, we don't know. We don't know what their plans are. There's always been talk about the Great Culling, you know, of the people.
No, what I know, here's what I know, is that people keep going, be afraid, be afraid, be afraid, okay? And fuck all those people, okay? Because that's not the way you're supposed to live your life. You are the king of the jungle, and what happens is when you move from a standpoint of fear, you don't make the best choices. There isn't any reason to be afraid. Trust me. The only people that are going to take away any freedoms from you are this government and the police that they direct.
Well, Mike, I hope you're right, man, because I don't. Nobody wants to see a nuclear war. A nuclear war would mean the end of civilization.
A nuclear war means that Donald Trump is a complete madman because because the only way Kim Jong-un's going to do anything is if he's attacked. And if he's attacked, he doesn't have to go nuclear or chemical, and 1 million people will die in the first 24 hours without him going chemical or nuclear. Seoul, the South, fucking Seoul will be completely reduced to rubble.
Well, that kind of outcome is the best case scenario. If it does turn into a nuclear exchange, look, like I said,
how can you call that a best case scenario? Why are we even messing with this when the only thing he's trying to do is defend his people? You know why? And the whole reason is because they're working together to sell weapons. That's the way I see it.
I don't think the Chi-Coms are in on this because it is not in any kind of interest for, you know, our fleets. You know, we got 3 aircraft carriers over in that region. It is not in their interest. They don't like it. They don't like this bad system because it can monitor everything over there. China is no longer. Look, we're getting knocked off the superpower, you know, status of the world.
I agree with that.
We're very close to just completely falling off of that. Not necessarily that is it doesn't have to be a negative thing.
But we still spend 10 times more on our military than any other government, than all these other governments combined.
Yeah.
And we're going to fall off of that status. How is that possible?
Well, how is that possible?
Yeah.
Each state, the bad guys, the infiltrators, you know, the Muslim Brotherhood in our government, the Israelis in our government. Not that I'm not anti-Semitic or anything. I'm for peace for the world. But you know what? The Bible.
But we can't keep building these weapons and say that we're for peace, because those weapons aren't for peace.
We're already at a state. I agree with you, man. We're already at a state where any kind of major war, you know, involving Russia, China, United States, Israel, you know, but we're all right at that red line, you know, right at that cliff to where one bad move, one mistake, one misinterpretation can completely send us over that cliff, and there's no returning. You know, if there's any kind of nuclear exchange, if anything, one nuke would destroy this nation. You know,
I think that look, I've talked about this before. Okay, the threat from North Korea. Okay, if they're saying they have the ability to make a nuclear weapon, right? Which I don't know if they do or not. But they're saying that they do. Now, in the past 2 years, North Korea has sent like 4 satellites into space. Okay? They can go into orbit. You put a nuclear weapon into orbit and blow it up, it's going to fuck up the whole world immediately. You're not going to have to hit any other targets. And they're not doing that. There isn't any, and they're not, and you can't prepare for that, and it's all. So, look, I don't think you need to be afraid if you're actually, and the reason that I'm being so passionate about this is because you're saying that you're genuinely afraid. And I live in Seattle, okay? And they talk about this in Seattle on the local news regularly because Seattle is like a #1 target for that.
Yep.
But that's just nothing. It's a lie. It's this fear propaganda to make you feel like there is something to fear. So we have to turn to these people that are strong leaders who are, you know, military past, and they understand what's going on. Otherwise, we're going to get in, you know, we might all get vaporized. Like I said, I grew up with that every day when I was a kid, and I actually thought about it. And so when you're saying that you have fear, I understand that, and it's horrible. And I'm telling you right now, you shouldn't, because there's a whole lot of other factors that you're not taking into account. And like the things that I keep saying, like that they're just trying to sell weapons. But the problem with selling weapons is those weapons eventually get used. Otherwise, they won't buy more weapons. So.
Well, yeah, that's the whole point. I mean, you know, without a little bit, or medium level of fear, you know, you're not going to make the right steps to prepare. It's better to be prepared, you know, with, you know, survival food, water, you know, guns, ammo.
Well,
and,
I
you know,
agree.
It's better to have these things and not need them than need them and not have them.
I agree. It's better to be prepared, but that doesn't mean that you need to be afraid that you might get nuked and you know, and tomorrow. You know, just because you have some stuff stashed away for a rainy day doesn't mean it's going to rain nuclear waste, radioactive waste on you.
Well, I'll tell you what, man. The United States has over 400 nuclear power plants. A grid failure could turn, you know, a power grid failure can turn any of these or all of these on a long enough timeline that the power grid is down. You know, those reactors eventually are going to turn into Fukushima.
Well, that seems a hell of a lot more scary to me than the whole North Korea thing.
Oh yeah.
But you're saying that you're afraid of North Korea, and see, here you go. You go from North Korea. I have this fear, and oh, okay. Well, you're going to quench that fear. Then I'm going to go cling to this other fear that I have. And, you get what I'm saying? It's like you have this, and it's not just you. I'm not trying to pick on you. I'm saying that this is where people's at, and we're the top of the food chain, and you're not supposed to live your life in fear. You're supposed to go out and I think it's really supposed to be much more of a celebration than it is. But because everybody's afraid, they don't even want to say hello to each other, let alone go out and have some big party where we all get together and say high-five each other or whatever the fuck it is that we do at our parties.
Well, I'll tell you what, man. Look, I don't know how much of a fear, you know, that you're picking up from. I'm just having a conversation. It's interesting. I mean, it's interesting. Our state.
I'm just saying that you shouldn't, because you're talking about fear. You keep, you know, you said I'm afraid of North Korea, and
I'm not afraid of North Korea at all.
And then you went from that to, and then there's this other thing that could happen that's horrible, and made it sound like that's something that you're afraid of too.
Well, there would be a chain effect if we were to have a nuclear exchange with North Korea. There would be a chain effect. You know, all the way to you know, if we were to get hit on the West Coast there, I don't how many nuclear power plants you got? San Diablo, you got that one. Diablo Canyon. You got San Onofre, Seattle. You know, I'm not sure what you guys have there. Oh, well, you got Hanford. I mean, look at this.
Right. No, I mean, it's.
I'm not trying to fearmonger, or you know, I'm just trying to have a pragmatic kind of conversation of these kind of scenarios.
No, your argument about the power grid and the fact that we have a 1950s infrastructure instead of a 21st century infrastructure. You know, like I said, that makes a lot more sense to be afraid of than North Korea. Of course, North Korea is probably trying to attack that infrastructure all the time, cyber-wise. But look, this fear thing is, again, not who humans are supposed to be. And it's not you. I'm not picking on you. I'm trying to make clear to everybody, which, you know, all 24 people that are here, I think I'm at least 2 of them, that this isn't how humans are supposed to be. We're not supposed to be afraid, and that it shouldn't be like a normal feeling that you carry with you throughout your day at all. So
I agree with you. Man, I didn't mean to take it into this direction. I'm just having a kind of a pragmatic, you know, a realistic conversation of what kind of scenario we are facing if we do go to war with these people. I mean, we could talk about something else. I mean, you get the Las Vegas shooting.
No, dude. Look. I'm just saying. Here's the deal: is if we go to war, it's completely on Donald Trump, this guy that you say that you appreciate. Because the other side, I don't feel has made any kind of actual threatening moves. Although I get what you're saying, you know, they could.
Oh,
He was watching. Just so you know.
they did launch a missile over Japan.
Oh.
And they have threatened Guam multiple times.
And the reason is because Donald Trump said, if you shoot a missile that direction, we're going to war. And they went, oh, okay. Where's your next line in the sand, Donald Trump? You get that, right?
You're right. These lines in the sand, they cannot. Look, I think there's been a miscalculation. Maybe they thought Kim Jong-un was going to be more of a reasonable guy, and that he would back down and, you know, come to his senses. But you know what? I mean, what's your take on that?
My take is he's trying to defend his people. My take is that when Gaddafi was brought into the world community by giving up his nuclear program, the world community quickly gutted Gaddafi.
Yeah, and he has. Kim Jong-un has brought that up, you know, and it is a viable argument, you know.
And that's the same deal with, like, look, that's what happened to Assad, right? They said, hey, we're going to take all your fucking chemical weapons. And he said, or we're going to attack you. And he said, take all the chemical weapons. And they took all the chemical weapons, and bam, ISIS, who is obviously directed by the Pentagon, moved into Syria. Right?
Yeah. Gaddafi try to reason with unreasonable people. Look at who we had in office at that time. Barack Obama totally turned on. There was no reason. There was no reason to go into Syria. I'm sorry, not Syria.
Libya.
Lebanon. Libya.
There was no
reason to go into Libya.
And there was no approval, and there was no debate, and there was no, and it was completely illegal. And a bunch of people died, and a whole new stronghold for ISIS was formed.
I mean, Gaddafi once said that if Libya were ever destroyed, that Europe would be flooded with these people, and that's exactly what happened.
He wasn't a stupid guy.
No, he wasn't.
No.
He wasn't. Actually, I've seen plenty of videos of what he was doing for his people. Married couples. They were an oil-rich nation. He was trying to create, what was that currency? You know, the gold-backed currency. Was it the dinar, or is that the Iraqi?
I'm not sure. But I know what you're talking about. That he was trying to move out of the petrodollar.
Yeah, and that's why they went after him.
Yeah. But Syria, there's things that people don't know about Syria. Like you're saying how Gaddafi was good for the people, or good to the people of Libya. In Syria, something that most people don't realize is that whenever Christians in that area would have a problem, if they were in, you know, Lebanon or in Iraq or Jordan or Egypt, and the Christians were somehow persecuted or attacked, they would run to Syria. And that's why you would see these old cities in Syria where they'd have, you know, the Madonna and the baby Christ and all that stuff, you know, at the heart of the city, because it was a safe haven for generations where Christians have always gone, and that is now destroyed thanks to our military.
Yeah.
You know, and they talk about, oh, the Christians, oh, these people aren't Christian. Well, you just destroyed a safe haven for the Christians in the Middle East. Because
in Libya, they also killed all the blacks. I'd be surprised if there was any black left.
Wow.
In Libya after, there's videos all over the internet about it, of a complete genocide of the blacks in Libya when they were living normal lives there.
Yeah.
So this is what Obama did for those people, did to those people. Then,
and let's not forget what he did. What he did for our people. He militarized our police bigger and better than George Bush would have ever dreamed.
Oh yeah. They were really moving the. Hey, and that's where Trump comes in right now. I mean, we'll get back on Libya in a second here, but where Trump comes in, he has totally thrown a wrench in the cogs of this New World Order, this globalism, this Agenda 21. He has thrown a cog in it. I don't know if you see that or not. Again, like I said, I'm a Ron Paul.
I see that he's thrown a wrench into the whole world order. There's no doubt about that. I mean, he's really seems to be, have everybody kind of on edge.
He's a populist nationalist. I think he wants to see all classes of people in this country, live to their potential. Some people just don't have that potential. That's why you see these idiots on the in the NFL, taking a knee. I mean, what does that do?
Is trying to bring attention to the problem with the police state.
I don't think that's what they're doing at all. As a matter of fact, that's not.
Well, they're not doing. You think that they're not doing that because the discussion keeps being changed over to some kind of like being disrespectful. That's not what they're doing. Because if they wanted to be disrespectful, they'd bend over and start slapping their ass or wiping their butt with the fucking flag. Okay, which would also be their perfect right to do as proud Americans.
Let me give you an example here. First of all, the field, their place of work is not the place to do that. Just like, like I said, I operate heavy machinery. I'm pro marijuana. I'm pro decriminalization, not legalization, because legalization, they can.
That leads to Monsanto.
Yeah. So I can't smoke marijuana because of my job. I operate heavy machinery, so I cannot do it. And I agree with that because, for insurance reasons, so many different reasons.
You don't think that in your recreational life that you should be able to, after you get off work, have a bong rip and just kick back and relax?
Oh yeah, because I don't drink. I mean, I drink wine.
But didn't you just say that you agree with the fact that you shouldn't be allowed to do it?
I'm sorry, say again?
Didn't you just say that you agree with the fact that you shouldn't be allowed to do it?
No, I'm talking about because I operate heavy machinery. I understand company policy why they cannot have an employee that has THC in their system.
Okay, I get understanding that.
Yeah, because I have a choice not to do this job. I could go do something. I could move to Colorado.
Yeah.
I could vacation to Colorado, which, like I said, if anything ever goes wrong, sideways with my job, I think I might look into something in Colorado, to where I have that personal freedom, and I'm not in a state to where, I'm going to be persecuted is really what it is. For choosing my form of, relaxation. Let's just put it that way. I'm very, and there are many people, many professionals. I consider myself professional. There are doctors, lawyers out there. Plenty. They have the freedom. They don't have to take drug tests if they don't want to. Many of them operate their own practices. I wish. The problem is the young kids, the punks, the thugs out there. They give it a bad name. It's a reason for law enforcement to go after these guys.
It's a reason for law enforcement to go after anyone they want.
Yeah, after anyone. Yeah.
Anyone they want.
I agree with you. And these profit prisons,
Yeah.
There's no reason to have them.
No.
The bureaucracy that we live in, the reason why these places are able to do what they do and make the money, off of slave labor and the taxpayer funding of these places.
Yeah.
That is the problem. I'm totally against it. and that's why I'm a Ron Paul libertarian. These are libertarian
that's just so against the land of the free,
Yeah. Well, look, Bernie supporters and Ron Paul supporters have a lot in common. However, the socialist aspects of whatever this Bernie ideology is, the free college, somebody's got to pay for that, and I just like those private.
If we stop with all this North Korea is gonna vaporize us bullshit, there'd be a lot more fucking money, dude. You know what I'm saying? I mean, we don't need to be in Iraq. We don't need to be in Afghanistan. We don't need to be in Libya. We don't need to be in Africa. We don't need to be. We don't need. And what we do need is more. And here's the deal with the education thing, okay? If you're concerned about national security, our whole future depends on having smart people. Not that colleges are maybe the greatest place to make smart people, but we got to make them somehow.
We're not getting a lot of smart people out of college these days.
Well, when I see people trying to shut down free speech, I have to agree with you. They're in some kind of land that I don't understand.
It is a liberal, breeding ground. These professors, they're all pushing an agenda.
What is the word liberal? What does the word liberal mean to you?
Well, I consider myself a Thomas Jefferson liberal.
Well, there you go. Because I think that all the founding fathers were pretty much liberals.
Well, this is fake liberalism.
Phony fucking liberals. See, get it right. When you say liberals, say phony fucking liberals, because that's what they are.
Yeah, these people that push all this division, all this class division, of the wealthy, color of your skin, they're trying to divide in every single way they possibly can.
They want us divided every possible way they can. I agree 100%.
Yeah, and that's why this country is in the state it's in right now.
And you know what? The biggest way they divide us is this fear thing. Because that's why people don't say hi to each other. That's why people don't know their neighbors. That's why, they're all in their own little world, is because of fear.
Well, some fear is justified. But let me give you. I want to give you some examples, but I also want to hold back on some of these because they're not politically correct. And
I think we should probably save that for a later day, bro. I'm getting ready to I gotta go drink some water. I'm getting kind of parched.
Yeah, I've got to go to Austin, man. I'm on vacation. Look, it's been a good exchange, dialogue here.
Yeah, thanks,
man.
Thanks so much for your help, Jake.
I'd love to talk to you again on one of these shows. And here's some other callers.
We'll plan on doing it again soon, and hopefully we'll get more callers, and I'll get better at this, and maybe we'll do it, whatever they call it.
You're doing good, Mike.
Town hall meeting or whatever. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it, man.
You're welcome, man.
The main thing about being on camera and stuff is that I want you guys to get that I really am trying to come from the right place, and I do listen to everything that you're saying, and I'm trying to move forward, doing the right thing, and that's why I'm here, talking to you.
Hey, have some daily discussions of whatever events, like these shootings that take place, whatever is the topic of the week,
Yeah.
And these liars, these mainstream media shills, call them out for what they are,
Yeah, I think that's a good plan. I'm not sure exactly how to incorporate video into the live stream. I'm having trouble with that right now, so if I could figure that out where I could show little clips and talk about that, but that would be really cool. But we'll definitely do this again soon and try and make it a very regular thing, because I like the way it feels. It feels like a good thing.
Hey, you're doing a good job too, Mike. Hey, you take care, man.
All right, thanks. Good talking to you.
You too, buddy. Bye-bye.
All right, you guys. Marine. Oh my God. Oh my, Marines say, oh my God again. Oh my God. Oh my God. I'm done, guys. I got to go drink some water. So thanks a lot for tuning in, and we'll talk about this again soon. The pledge drive is actually after Jay dropped a 40 to become the leading donor for the pledge drive so far this year, for the end of the year pledge drive. Jake just dropped a 40. Nobody else has donated since then. So we're still holding that 40. Do I hear 45? Here, 45, 45, 45, 45. Thanks for tuning in. My name's Mike. This is my YouTube page, Mox News. And I hope you feel like it's your YouTube page too, okay? Stay cool. Wednesdays, this war is going to end. Till that day.